Okay, we are live. Just got to get my TikTok up and running here. And then we shall begin in a few minutes. So let's just say going live and live coding live Q&A. And then we say we'll go through backlog, clear up some blockers. We'll go through backlog, clear up some blockers, and make sure you leave with real steps you can take right away. Okay. Um, $20. Okay, and then what else? Where is the control check, local compliance check, superfan check. Live Studio checks your content locally to help if community guidelines take away. Advanced. Moderators, no. Don't have any of that. Okay, is there choose an image for your computer? Let's go with this, maybe. Okay, go live. I think I'm missing something because there's supposed to be a way for me to... Welcome to TikTok Live. Have fun interaction. General, about, comments, GIFs. Okay, we're on TikTok, we're live, comments, follow. Show message only from followers, moderators, thing. Okay, we are live. And welcome. Let me just do one more thing here. Just got a little bit set up here. But we're going to start in a couple of minutes here. Talking about vibe coding and making sure that people know how to build real apps. So 1 second, YouTube. Go to my profile, make sure that we're live there. So much work just to get live. Like, honestly, it's just kind of crazy. You can't just press a button and just go live. Or at least I'm trying to do that, but yeah, okay. So we're live. Perfect. One watching. Fantastic. That's good. Moderator. There we go. Okay. I think we're good there. Gotta put the chat out here so I could see the chat. Make sure I could see the other chat as well too. And perfect. Okay, good. All right. Welcome. Welcome people on the internet. I'm going to do a couple things a little bit differently today that I don't normally do. Well, I mean, I do it all the time. I just don't, I just didn't, normally it's not my formal thing that I do, which is to answer questions. I'm just going to go through. So we have we had a bunch of questions inside of here in the community. And the truth is I just haven't had the time to actually answer them. So we're going to do exactly that. We're just going to answer questions in the live, and then we're going to get live questions and we'll answer those as well too. So it's just going to be a live Q&A about questions. So I got notice I got the wrong screen I'm showing here. So 1 second, I got to change my YouTube. Showing the wrong screen. Wrong screen. Tertiary. Nope. That's the wrong screen. Secondary. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so we're showing the right screen there. And we're showing the right screen here. And I think we're good to go. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Perfect. Okay, yeah, we're good to go. All right, welcome people. Welcome to another episode of question and answer, vibe coding. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff today. I'm trying to answer questions around so many things to answer. So I'm always going to do a little bit of recap at the start, just to make sure that everybody's who is joining for the very first time know who I am and what I'm about. And then what we're going to do right after that is we're going to just jump straight into Q&A. So if you haven't already, join the community. But I got a bunch of questions inside of here that people have been asking, and the truth is I've just been busy, so I haven't been engaging too much. And so I'm going to answer a bunch of questions that are kind of lingering in the community. So that's number one. I'm going to share an update with you guys on a real estate project I've been working on. So I've been working on a real estate project called DP Homes Associate, and I'm pretty proud of this because we've gotten it pretty far. It's actually a really cool real estate project that I've been building out for a real estate company. And it's the idea that you can basically just go in there and do actual investment. These are real investment properties. And so I'm going to kind of share that as well and talk about how I'm thinking about it on Cloudflare. What are the things that I'm working on? How it's actually built on the back end. And then we'll talk about sort of like what is being done. So that's going to be one thing. Then we're going to go through on the other side here. We're going to go through, answer some of these questions. And I want to give an update on Lead Score, which is my AI application that is about finding leads. So we're going to talk about that. I've been thinking about this a lot, so I really want to talk about what we're going to be doing there, how we're building it. We're making real progress there. So I want to kind of talk about that as well too. So welcome you guys. I'm going to kind of sort of stall a little bit, let a couple more people trickle in. In the meantime, say hi in the chat if you're new here and you're wondering what the hell we're about and what we're talking about and what we've been doing, or if you got a question right off the top, just answer it and we're going to go. We will begin. So let's talk about the school community first. So again, if you're brand new to this, you don't know who I am, I have a vibe coding school community. If you go to dwayne.me/school. And the goal of this community is basically just to help you guys learn how to build applications and give you sort of the foundational sort of work. So that's what this is about. Now, there's lots of stuff inside of here, but the main thing that I'm really proud of is the fact that I really distill content, super simple, super basic, so you could understand, and it's 100% free. Okay, there's no gatekeeping, there's no nothing, there's no pay for this and get this, and no, none of that. It's just literally free. So you jump into the community, and I have classrooms here where you could see foundation courses, you can see Cloudflare courses. If you're new to Cloudflare, have you ever had a Snickers bar upside down? What? Okay, I don't, yeah. I'm just gonna ignore your question, buddy. Mr. Evans. So yeah, I don't know anything about Snickers bar. So anyway, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But anyway, if you haven't joined the community, join the community, and there's lots of stuff inside of there, at least to learn. Okay, it's a little bit. We're working on the actual engagement side of things, but to learn, I want you guys to kind of join in, learn some stuff there. So okay, I got a couple questions. So let me just go through them. So I want to talk about this. The first question, actually, this is a kind of a complex one, but I'll take it on because this is kind of an important question. So here, I just published one of my apps to my website and used to build. Okay, so I got to see. Built it in Mocha, Google Auth sign-in. Which one? Which was a no muss, no fuss done for me. So that was cool. But the login, but on the login, it says now login into Mocha rather than my brand. My question to the community is, do you think that's off-putting or confusing for my users? So, okay, let me distill the question down, make sure that we got that right. So, oh, you know what I did? I forgot to mention that I'm live in this community. Hang on a second. Sorry, forgot. I'm doing my housekeeping is terrible. Live Q&A. Q&A. Your questions. Hey guys, I'm finally going to be answering your questions today on the live. So if you're available and you are around, feel free to join me and let's have an engagement on some of these questions. Okay, I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. Link, add, and let's go back to GPT and get GPT to clean this up, and then we're gonna go. Sorry, I forgot to do my housekeeping here, so I just want to just do this quickly here. So that people can clean this up for me. La la la. Hey guys, finally going live today. Answer some questions if you're wrong. Yeah, sure. Done. Done. So there we go. Hey guys, I'm finally going live today to answer some of your questions that I've been sitting in a while for around. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Great. If you join me, would love to chat, answer some good questions. Posts. Oh, gotta do a live vibe coding thing. Yeah. So join the community. Thanks for the thing, by the way. For the hearts, by the way. Join the community. How do you ship a website from Replit to a personal VPS? Oh, that's a good question. So answer your question, Mr. DJ Clay. Great question. So the short answer is, oh my goodness, TikTok is just doing this appeal thing again. Hang on a second. I just TikTok keeps trying to ban me for some reason every single time I go on live. I don't know why. I have no idea. I'm gonna answer your question in 2 seconds here, Mr. DJ. So, okay, let me just be straight with you and just tell you the honest truth. First of all, I wouldn't use Replit if I didn't have to. Secondly, Replit is kind of there's kind of 2 different types of vibe coding. Well, it's more like 3 different layers of vibe coding. So I should answer all 3 of them, and then I'll answer your question. I promise you. I like to give you a backstory because it kind of helps with context. Okay, so there's roughly about 3 different types. I would say different types of vibe coding tools. So there's a Replit group, REPLPPLET. You know what I'm talking about, Replit. You got the Replit. You have the Lovables, LOVABLES, Lovables of the world. And then I'm gonna put Google inside of here. Gravity. So AI Studio, AISTUDIO. Okay, so roughly 3 different categories of vibe coding tools, not of the entire industry. So the issue that I have personally with Replit, I'm telling you the problem that I have with Replit right off the top, so at least you understand. The problem that I have with Replit altogether is it's very, very integrated with their backend. So they have, like database technologies and stuff like that. And they kind of basically, when you build on Replit, it sort of forces you to kind of host on Replit. Okay, this is my drawing of hosting. So it's a little bit hard to extract out of their platform. That's the problem that I have with Replit altogether. So I don't use them for this particular purpose. That being said, though, it's great if you just want to just point a domain name directly to them and just get going right off the top. I personally wouldn't use them if I'm building something serious, right? If I'm building like a portal for a administration backend office type of stuff, I would use Replit. Otherwise, I won't necessarily use them. The short answer is that you're going to have to connect Replit into GitHub. Come on. You're going to have to do it to GitHub. ITHUB. Right? And then from GitHub, you're going to basically have to export it to your VPS. And that's the quickest way I could tell you to do this. The real question is, why are you trying to put it to a VPS? Because that's a no-no altogether. So do you have any specific reason as to why you want to do a VPS, Mr. DJ? Is it a cost thing? Is it thing? How do I say that? Oh my goodness. TSALAGI. Karma. I'm just gonna say karma. Hi, karma. Yeah. So DJ, answer that question for me. If like, why would you want to do a VPS? Okay, because while you're answering that question, I'm gonna answer your question, which is a VPS is good if you want to build a really complex application that requires like native operating system features. And to be honest with you, the fact that you're asking this question, I doubt that is a thing that you're trying to do. So yeah, it's a VPS won't necessarily be the right approach for you, I don't think, based on the question that you're asking. I'm making some judgment on you. All right. Okay, so answer that question, Mr. DJ, and then I'm going to get back to you, which is why do you want to put it on VPS? Okay, and then I'll get you some more details on it. In the meantime, I got a question here from YouTube. Sharisha, if I could say that. What's the best blog resource for learning about Cloudflare? It's a good question, actually, because it's not Cloudflare. That's actually a really good question. So it's not Cloudflare. That's what's sad about it. So I'll answer this question in two parts. First of all, the best resource is my resource. Okay. So if you really want to know how to build Cloudflare, come into my school community, jump onto here, and then go to the course Cloudflare Essentials 101. Okay. Join and then go there, 100% free. All right. Now, why my community? Because what I've done is distill Cloudflare to everyday language that people could understand. Cloudflare is an extremely complex piece of software that is super powerful, that is really, really good for novice users, except that novice users are overwhelmed by the level of complexity on Cloudflare, if that makes sense. So I actually don't, it's a good question. I actually don't have any kind of real solid resource outside of Cloudflare's blogs, which I wouldn't recommend if you're a newbie. So, because when I go to Cloudflare and I read their blogs, I'm like, whoa, this is deep. The problem, again, I'm going to kind of just generalize here, okay? The problem with Cloudflare is that they're very, very good at really technical stuff, but they haven't mastered the art of distilling it down to like the masses. So when you go to Cloudflare, it's just very technical content. And it feels like it's like for everyday people, but it's not. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is take it one step further and break that down. So the short answer is follow my content, and you'll be able to get some answers. I haven't found any single thing that does it well, but that's something I'm gonna work on for sure. I'm gonna drop you the link in the chat here, Mrs. Sharisa. DJ, are you answering my question or not? No, maybe. How do you shift a website from Replit to VPS? And let me just go back to that question for a bit. VPS, Replit, REPLIT to VPS hosting. Let's just see, okay? So deploy website collaboratively, okay? So now here, let me tell you let me show you what the problem is right off the top. So if I go to build apps, so if I do Replit, export my website, okay? So if I do that, you can export your website from Replit by downloading a zip or by pushing it to GitHub, right? So that's the way that you would do it. But again, the Replit ecosystem kind of, again, since I've used it for a bit before, kind of ties you in a little bit. But so okay, you're here, you're back with me now. So here, I have my business consulting firm. I had my CMS for my firm. Got it. My system was a system admin console managing internal workflows. Okay, so that's good, but you don't need a VPS for that. Just to be clear, okay. I I'm going to recommend to you Cloudflare because it's a thing that I push. I'm not affiliated with them in any single way, but Cloudflare is by far the place to be. And if you don't know much about Cloudflare, if you go to my YouTube, I'll drop it in the link for you in the chat here. But if you go to my YouTube and I have a video here about why Cloudflare is extremely cheap and why I'm all in on Cloudflare, and it answers the question. See here, right? Where is it? Replit, right here. There we go. Okay. See, so I compare Replit, I compare Bolt, I compare Vercel, and beginner friendly. I tell you exactly why you would want to use Replit and what it's good at, what it's not good at, and then I show you how Cloudflare works and why Cloudflare is the better alternative, and I compare it to some of the bigger boys, which Google, AWS, the standard type of stuff. So watch this video, and then the other one that I want you to go watch, I'm going to drop it in the chat, is the other one that you want you to watch is the Cloudflare. Why is it insanely cheap? Okay, and this one here will give you enough context for you to be able to make proper decisions about how to build an actual app properly. Okay, on Cloudflare specifically. Well, not sorry, I rephrase that. This will tell you the landscape, the market, and sort of like the pros and cons of the different platforms, and then why you should use Cloudflare. But what I would be doing if I were you is I would export my stuff from Replit and I would basically dump it straight into Cloudflare. So if you export, you go to, let me show you very quickly just to show you how easy it is. So if I log into my, let's assume that your stuff is already on GitHub, okay? I'm not going to show you that part because that part you can figure out pretty easy. But if you come in here to workers, you click on create application. See here, it says continue with GitHub. You click on that and you basically just choose your repo, and Cloudflare will figure out every single thing to push it up and host it and instantly give you a domain name. It's that easy. That's literally what you have to do. So that's what I would recommend that you do all together. And then if there's a security, if it needs security, you could instantly just come in here, click on this little checkbox here, and click on Cloudflare Access, and that'll automatically lock it down. So you have some way of password protecting it, globally scalable, instantly. All right, and then from there you could kind of go into the details. So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, I wouldn't be doing a VPS if I were you. VPS, first of all, with Cloudflare, you could get for $5 if you're paying. First of all, for free, you could get 100,000 requests per month on Cloudflare. That's a lot. And if you're paying, it's something like 300,000 for $5 a month, right? And that gives you that gives you unlimited database, that gives you unlimited queues, that gives you it just gives you so many different things that it would be crazy for you to use a VPS is what I'm saying. Right. All right. I'm going to answer your another question. Thank you. I will keep you posted on my progress. Yeah, absolutely do. Join the community if you haven't already. And Ting, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for asking the question. I appreciate you. But yeah, join the community, and Ting, I'll drop the link in there for you. Let me drop the link inside of there so at least you have it, and then let me answer the other question. No problem, man. So next question, what apps have you built via vibe coding? Oh, what? Okay. Thank you for the question, Mr. I'm butchering every single name. Okay, guys, I got dyslexia. It's just my way that my brain works. It doesn't know how to pronounce names properly. So you just got to excuse me with the names. Mr. Alpot, I think that's it. So the question is, what apps have I not built? So, but I'll answer it very quickly for you. So first of all, I run a startup. My startup is called SnapSuite. It's a construction software, project management software, been around for about 15 years or so. So we got a few customers on it, and this is my primary money maker. Okay. From there, I have I struggled with that software for a while, so I built a new software called LeadScore. And it's basically a system that allows you to track leads, manage leads. It has AI calling. It has tons of stuff inside of there. So, for example, I'll give you a real demo. Let me see if I gotta use it, Dwayne, and then find a lead that I can call. Here. And see here, if I click on that call button, it'll actually allow me to make a real call. Oops, I got a problem here. But I have the ability to make AI phone calls, etc. This entire thing was vibe coded before I could even get like vibe coding to do with all the new stuff that vibe coding is doing. So this entire app from end to end, the entire back end, front end, the whole 9 yards was vibe coded. So this is like a true modern app. The SnapSuite app has been around way before vibe coding, so it's not a true vibe coding, but the mobile app is vibe coded. Affordly, this is my other application that I'm building right now, mobile app. This is for helping you track money and get out of debt, basically. It's a mobile app that allows you to basically track your money, do recurrent payments, just tons of stuff. Every single thing around money. And I've been getting some half decent traction inside of there. So those are just 3. I'm going to give you one more. I got a new real estate application that basically helps you to sort of deal with investment properties. So investors can kind of see properties that they're interested in, view sort of the returns on the properties and stuff like that. They could choose to invest and all that kind of stuff. And it has a whole back end that allows you to manage the properties, update properties, information, financial, the stages of the project. The construction people can also update the projects, etc. So there's that. And then the last one I'll show you is going back to the SnapSuite app itself. So this is, I'm just showing you the desktop version, but this is basically the mobile version of it. And this one here is a mobile app that allows you to do, for technicians to be able to track jobs. So think HVAC workers, plumbers, electrical company. It has a audio system, voice system, not voice system. It has, speech to text, has text to speech, the whole 9 yards. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, I've just given you like a subset of the amount of apps that I'm building. So any single thing I'm building, they're not vibe coded and just kind of sitting, on my computer. These are like shipped product that people are actually using. There's a whole scalable architecture at the back end, which we could talk about if you guys want to ask the question. But so hopefully that kind of helps you out to let you understand it. I'm not like some newbie to this whole vibe coding thing. Vibe coding is just a new buzzword that I'm just putting on stuff. But I'm like a real software developer that I like to label myself as a software developer gone rogue. In other words, like I don't think of myself as a software developer. I'm kind of like a fake software developer. I'm just a business guy that just happens to know how to code. So why am I here? I'm here to just teach you guys how to make actual real money online. No fluff, no gimmicks, no nothing, no gatekeeping. Just teach you how to actually make real money, and then you can join my school community for free. You can learn the basics, learn the foundation, learn why I make certain decisions, give you all of the blueprint, etc. And then from there, you could think, hello, Mrs. Faith and AI Trainer JS. I don't know if it's guy or girl, but hello, hi, how are you doing? Does Cloudflare host the backend? Yes, sir, 100%. Backend, okay, let me just break this down for you. Every single app that I just showed in the last few minutes, okay, is 100% on Cloudflare, front end and back end. In fact, let me just say this right now, okay? This application here that I'm showing you here, my SnapSuite app, I'm going to log into it right this minute, just so you know. It's a very complex application. This is approaching by itself about 1 million lines of code. It's not a simple application, just so you understand, okay? This application here was hosted on Cloudflare for about 7 years, and it was 100% free on Cloudflare. And just so you know how much I charge my customers, these are our price points here, okay? $350 per month, $550 per month, $950 per month. And just for hosting, I'm not talking about buying domain names and all that kind of stuff. For hosting, in the 7 years that I've had this on Cloudflare, I've paid them about $3. I'm not even making that up. Like literally, I've paid them about $3. Okay. Now of recent, I'm on a higher tier plan, and because I do a bunch more stuff on Cloudflare, but I'm talking about pure hosting here. I've paid $3 in 7 years. So if that's not enough reason for you to move from a VPS or Vercel or any single thing to go to Cloudflare, then I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't help you. I just can't. Right? Yeah. So Cloudflare is by far the most underrated platform. Period. I I firmly believe that Cloudflare has not figured out how to do large scale marketing yet. They're trying, they have ideas, but they don't know how to take their very, very complex, cool implementation and get it to the masses. This is why you see Vercel and Superbase and Lovable and Bolt and all these other companies just skyrocketing, and Cloudflare is just sort of sitting in the background. But trust me when I say this, after doing this for 20 years, I've done AWS, I've done Vercel, I've done Google GCP, I've done Azure. And in fact, I use all of these services, just to be clear, also. Um, I've done, back in the day, Heroku, you name it, been there, done that. Okay, I've even Rackspace and some of the old school guys been there, done that, and by far, Cloudflare is 100% the best. So just trust me on this one when I say that. This is what I'll be doing from tomorrow. Yeah, good man. I'm happy to hear that. I'm really, really happy to hear that. So yeah, hopefully I've convinced you. And just to be clear, I don't get paid by Cloudflare. Okay, there's no solicitation here. There's no convincing you, whatever. I don't get a referral fee. Nothing. Okay, so yeah. Good. Glad you guys are learning something, or at least getting some value out of my conversations. We got a couple people live here, and things. So let me go back to the question that I was answering for one of the members in the community about. Where was the question? I'll take the live questions, but I want to kind of go back and answer this question here. So okay. So what was this question? This question was about OAuth and branding and things. So I'm going to try to simplify it for the people that are non-technical and technical, right? Because the question in itself is kind of a complex question, but I'll kind of simplify it for you. So what he's basically asking here is he's basically saying he's using Google authentication in order to approve his app, just to authenticate users in his app. The app is actually built by Mocha. So what's happening, just to kind of make it simple for everybody. Okay, man, what is going on with my pen? I don't know why my... Oh, it's so annoying. Hang on a second. Ugh, annoying. My pen, for some reason, it works, and then it doesn't work, and then it kind of semi-works. And then every week I'm like fighting with it. I was like, why don't you just buy another? Okay, whatever. We gotta mouse it. All right, so let's say this is you, okay? Authentication is one of the most complex things, by the way, guys. So I'm going to try to distill it very, very simple for non-technical people, all right? And if you're not understanding, just let me know, and I'm going to try to explain it a little bit different. So the reason why authentication is complex is because it's just complex. There's no other explanation for it, okay? That being said, if you understand the basics, you could get by, okay? Because the good news is that the AI tools and the vibe coding tools are so good now that they could work out the complexity. The thing is, though, you still have to have some sort of like general knowledge to kind of know how to make sure that it's relatively secure, okay? Nothing is ever bulletproof secure, but secure enough, okay? If the government wants to get into your app, they will, just to be clear. All right, so let's talk about it and why the complexity and how it works at a very, very high level. All right, so the thing is this. The first thing that you need to understand about authentication is that you don't want to create your own username and password for every single person to use your app, because frankly, most people just forget the passwords, okay? If you're sophisticated, you have a password manager, but I can't tell you the 100 times that I have to tell my wife, can you I ask her to log into a certain app and she's like, oh, I don't remember the password for that. Okay. Regular people do not remember passwords. So this is the first problem that authentication in the modern world tries to solve. So that's number one. And then the second thing is authenticate. There's a kind of a trust factor that has to be sort of established, and this is why it gets a little bit complex. So let me explain in plain English so everybody could kind of get this if you've never done this stuff before. So instead of you having your own app, let's say this is your app here, okay? I'm just going to put Y app. This is your app. Let's say your app here. Instead of you having your own username and password to log into the app, what you're going to do is you're going to share login and password with another provider. This provider could be Google or Apple or Microsoft or anybody that is a big provider here. See my pen? It's just, it goes and then it just stops. My God. When does it stop or when does it go? I don't know. I'm going to try to figure it out. Okay, so we have the provider. So we have Google. I got to go slow because I can't write fast here. So Google, Google. Okay. And you know what? We're just going to use Google for now because I can't write fast. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to outsource your login to somebody else. So you're going to outsource this in this particular case to Google or Microsoft or GitHub or any one of these providers. Okay. So you're going to say, hey, since you already have the user already have a login with Google, why don't we just use that? And you can log into my app also. So that's kind of the thought process that you have to kind of set up, right? This is the OAuth dance we're talking about here. If you want to know the official name, okay? It's called OAuth. Really annoying to do with my mouse, okay? So OAuth dance. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to understand. It's like we're going to say, you know what? I'm not going to manage password. I'm going to let somebody else manage a password for me. Since you already have you're already logged in with Google, let's just use your Google login. So the question becomes, how do you allow Google to log in with your app? Okay. So in order to do that, what we need to do is we need to kind of think about, okay, so hang on, let me get my eraser here. So okay. All right, there we go. Yeah. Come on, eraser. There we go. Yeah. So in order for that to happen, we need to set up some kind of trust between our app and Google, right? So we need to say, hey, Google, I'm going to let this person, a person or any user, log in with your login. So Google says, yeah, no problem. That's not a big deal. You just need to register with me so that I know that you're like a legit person. Okay. So that's kind of the thought process. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to register REGISTER. Oh my goodness, this is so painful. Okay, so you're going to register your app with Google. Okay, so this is kind of like a back channel thing that you kind of agree ahead of time. So you say, hey, I got an app. I'm going to register it with you, Mr. Google. And therefore, once I register it with you, anybody that tries to log in, right, could now log in through you. And then you'll just basically bounce them back to me. That's kind of the thought process. Okay, good. So now that I've registered with you, the other thing that I'm going to do, so when I register, I get like an ID and a password and a key and all this kind of stuff, and I just got to put it in my app. So what's going to happen is the user is going to say, okay, hey, I need to log in to your app, okay? And then when they try to log in, what's going to happen is going to say, yeah, okay, no problem. You are a Google user, so I'm just going to send you over to Google. Okay, so go log in with Google. Everybody's done this before. If you've ever logged into any app, you see it, you click on it, and then it takes you over to the Google or something, or Microsoft or whatever. You log in there, and then it bunks you back into the app. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, so it says, hey, Google, sorry, you get to the login, and then it says, yeah, no problem. Just go over to Google and just log in. Okay, now when you do that, what happens is Google authenticates. Google is the one that keeps the password. Google is the one that keeps the authentication. Okay, so now Google has authentication. They have approved that you are a legit user. Okay. Now they also say to you, okay, are you trying to log into the right app? Like they'll fact check that you're logging into the right app in the background. And if it's yes, then they say, okay, no problem. Okay. Now what they'll do is Google will send back a code. Okay. We call it an auth code. Okay. They're going to send back a code, and that code is going to, the user gets it. Now, obviously the user doesn't see all this stuff. This happens like in milliseconds. But the point is the user gets this code, and then the user sends the code over to the app, and then the app does a back channel dance, okay, to Google, and basically exchange that code for an actual we call it token, auth token, Okay, you don't have to understand the details here. You just need to understand the principle of what's going on. Okay, so basically, like my app never actually sees the password. Okay, that's the important thing that you understand here. And the second thing, well, the first thing you need to understand is your app needs to be registered with the provider, in this case, Google. The second thing you need to understand is that your app also notice never gets registered. It never really sees the password. What it gets, it gets a token, a short-lived token is what we call it. So it's basically the token is like, let's call it 15 minutes or something like that, like a very short-lived code. It's literally just a code, like a random number. Okay, and your app has like with 15 minutes or 5 minutes or however long, depending on the level of security, to get an authentication to get an authentication token. So in other words, you're going to take your code, you're going to send it over to Google, and you're going to say, hey Google, can you give me permission to log in, like to authenticate, basically is what you're basically saying, right? Trying to keep it simple. So that happens in the background. So now that we kind of have this picture, hopefully you guys get that. What this user is saying is that when the user logs in, so what this user is saying in the vibe coding chat here is that when they log in, they're seeing the vibe coding app Mocha. So Mocha is, by the way, just so you know, Mocha is like another vibe coding tool. So what he's saying is that when they log in, instead of seeing his app that he built, he's seeing the Mocha app like page. And the reason why that's happening is because this user, the person that's answering this question, never actually did the registration with Google. Or if they did, it's wrong, right? So what happened is Mocha, the app M-O-C-A, Mocha, which is the app, is the one that actually did the registration with Google. And they're just basically fake, like this vibe coded app that he created. They just basically did that registration for him. So when this user logs in, they get a authorization page. Everybody's seen this before, right? It says, this app is trying to access your personal information. Do you approve allowing this app to see your information, right? That's basically what's happening. The app that is showing up is Mocha, right? And the reason why is because this user, aka the person in my vibe coded community, never actually, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place here. He never actually registered his app. So Mocha is doing it on his behalf. And so he's seeing the Mocha authentication screen as opposed to his app authentication screen. So that has to change. And the way he has to change is that he has to go into Google and change that information, right? So his real question is, my question to the community is, do you think this is off-putting or confusing? The answer is absolutely yes, because what's going to happen is people are going to be spooked when you're logging in. So imagine this person is trying to log into their bank account, right? Let's say you built a bank application just to make it kind of thing. Okay. They're trying to log into their bank. Their bank name is xyzbank.com. And they log in, and then they see, when they log in, they see Mocha. They're like, oh, what the hell? I'm trying to log into my bank. Why is Mocha getting access to my information? I don't want to do this. And they'll just cancel and they'll leave. So to answer this person's question, you absolutely want to get this right by doing the thing that you have to do, which is to register your app. And just to be complete about this, because I'm going to post this in the school community as well as an answer, is to do that, you have to do console, console, console.google.thing. And you have to go through the process of registering your app through Google Cloud Console. So here, so you have to come in here, you have to click on create a client. And then you have to go through the process of creating a, let's say this is a web application in this particular case. And you give it the name, and then you authorize the URLs, and then you create, and it's going to give you some keys and stuff like that. So that's how you register your app with Google. Everybody has to go through that process. That's just a thing that you have to do if you're going to set it up for yourself. So that's the thing. So hopefully that gives you some context. Hopefully you guys are still with me, because that's kind of deep thing. But okay, so Faith and AI Trade, I'm just seeing your message here. So get an app registered with Google. Yep, number one. Perfect. Yes, 100% right. See if I missed any other question. This is what we're doing tomorrow. Got that. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So you guys are with me. Hopefully that makes sense. If it makes sense, put a one in the chat. Anybody that put a one in the chat if I made sense. If I didn't make sense, then tell me thing. Thank you, Faith. I appreciate that. Yeah. So the point is that it's super important that you that you do the registration properly, else it gets confused. So I'll show you just to make sure for the people that don't know or never seen this process. This app, Affordly, has that process. So if I go to Affordly app.affordly, so app.affordly, which is my app. See, it prompts me here. It says, hey, what do you want to do? Log in with Google or log in with Apple? So I have two providers that I can log into. Okay. And now I'll click continue with Google, and then it'll ask me for which account, because I have multiple accounts, obviously. And then it'll ask me, hey, you're signing back into Affordly app. In this person's case, what's happening is it's going to show him Mocha, right? So now you're like, what Mocha? I wasn't on Mocha's website. I was on Affordly website. How did that happen? And so you just get confused. And so most people won't trust it, and they'll just think. So you have to actually get that right. And once you log in, then see here, now I'm logged into the app. So that's how that works altogether. So hopefully I give you guys some context and it makes sense. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna put these answers in my school community. So just in case you guys have this problem or you got thing, I'm gonna sort of summarize these questions and answer and put them in the school community so that you could think. If you haven't joined the school community, what are you waiting for? I'll drop the link in the chat just so at least people have it. And join the school community. Is free, doesn't cost you any single thing, and you can learn something and make some money at the same time. So good. Any other question? Sets on Dan. Hey, appreciate it, man. You're telling me amazing stuff. I appreciate that. Thank you for making me feel like I'm smart. I just get it. Okay, let's see. Let's pick another question inside of here. I'm new to this, the whole vibe coding software use. Let's see. So I don't know how far back I think, because I haven't been. Okay, this is a complicated one. Villarreal created SaaS product. I've always wanted to. Okay, so that's good. I'm gonna try to pick another question that's not too complex, because I don't want to get. I got a lot of new people on the thing, so I want to answer things that are like more relevant. I've always wanted to be a vibe coding community, speed up. Yeah. So you see here, there's people in here, guys. So you're not coming to a dead end community. This one might be a little too complex. Let me see. I'm working with my first SaaS company, because I know this guy. He's a developer, so he normally asks very developer type questions. But we'll find out. I'm working on my first SaaS, and I'm broadening my original plan. I'm bringing in some developers to help, but I want to make sure the foundation is right. So the plan is to build a centralized core with purchasable I'm going to dissect the question for you guys in a bit. Just let me just understand what he's asking for us. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to handle security and independent scaling of things. So I'm also stuck on how to handle future growth. If I have 4 main systems, module, and clients want to grow in different directions, how do I accommodate? This guy is thinking very, very complex. I'll talk about this in a bit and tell you why this is a problem. I don't want to end up maintaining 10 different versions of the app. But in general, I want to integrate basic point of sale, which can integrate with my modules and process electronic billing, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Okay, so let me tell you what's going on here, okay? In simple English, so you think, because I just read a whole bunch of stuff to you and you guys are like, what the hell is this? All right. In plain English, what he's asking for at a very, very high level is this. Number one is, so just to give you some background context, Ramon is an actual developer. He actually knows how to code. He codes for a living. So the question is just more complex. I just happen to know that because he's been in my live a couple times and I've talked to him a few times. So I know his background context. So that's number one. And secondly, he's an actual .NET developer. He's trying to build something in the real world. And as a result of that, he's kind of hitting this wall of like, oh, this is a really complex thing. what do I build, etc. So I'm going to not answer the specifics on this question. I'm going to answer it in a more broader terms of the problem that developers face or technical people face when they're trying to solve a problem or to build an app. What you're seeing here in this question is kind of a developer forcing himself to think through all the details of the business problem. Okay, and this is a trap. Okay, I want to be straight with this. This is a 100% a trap, guys. Okay, so it's basically, I don't know if you've ever heard the term decision paralysis, right? So it's not a technical term. It's just like, okay, in plain English, let's say make it everybody can understand this. If I have a toddler, which I got a 3-year-old kid that's going to turn 4 this month, and I give him like 10 different toys to choose from. Okay, I'm like, hey man, do you want a car, or do you want a bike, or do you want I don't know, whatever toys? Okay, multiple different toys. The more options I give him, my kid, the harder it is for him to make a choice. Okay, this is the paradox of decision paralysis. So developers and technical people, all technical people that I've ever come across has this problem, including myself. What they do is they think, hey, I want to build an app. Great, I'm going to build an app. And then they're like, oh, but if I build the app, and what happens if the client needs this? And then what happens if the client needs this? And then, okay, oh, but what happens if they need this? Okay, so then I have to put these together. And then they get way too complex, way too fast. They haven't built a single thing. They haven't even gotten it in front of a customer as yet. But what they're doing is they're over processing, over making complexifying. I was going to say, I know that's not a word. They're just making things more complex. Okay. And as a result, they're falling into the trap that entrepreneurs fall into, which is decision paralysis. Really, really big problem. So the question is, what do you do? How do you address this problem? The first thing you need to do is you need to find the one problem that you could solve for. Just one. Maybe two, but one, okay? Because if you don't have any single thing, you can't solve all the world's problem. You just got to solve one single problem. And I want to be clear. I suffer from this even today. I suffer from this, and I have to constantly keep asking myself, what is the biggest pain point for the customer? Why? You have to ask yourself the question of what is the biggest pain point for the customer, because if you don't do that, what's going to happen is you're going to try to build out a whole bunch of stuff. You haven't figured out how to sell the application as yet, and you're just going to run into a whole bunch of problems. Okay? Yes, I suffer from this too. Thanks for being honest, Faith. This is a real problem. If you're technical or you have some technical understanding of a domain, you run into this problem and you end up spending so much time in your brain just processing all these what ifs. And it's like you haven't even made $1 yet, okay? So I'll tell you why this resonates with me, because every single thing that I do, I suffer from this problem also. I've just been more aware of it, and by experience, I know how to constrain myself now, okay? One of my biggest problems that I had in the past, I'll just give you guys some background, is my company, my Snapsuite company, at one point we had 13 developers. Okay, this is a big product. This is not a small product. I want to be clear with this. I've had real developers working on this for years to get it to where it is. Okay, funny story is I have code from 2012 that one of my first developers, a Chinese guy, wrote for me that's in this app today. And I look at it and I was like, I have no idea what the hell this code does, but it works. So I just close it, just disappear. Okay. Fast forward to today, I could dump it in AI and AI could tell me, right? But back then I was like, I don't know how this guy solved this problem, but this code works. So nobody touch it. Okay. Because he was Chinese and he didn't know English properly, but he knew how to write code really, really well. And yeah, anyway, I digress. My point is, this is a really complex application. So when I built this, okay, if you notice, there's a sales module, there's equipment modules, inspections, there's purchase orders, there's calendar, there's billing, like it's just on and on and on and on and on, okay? This is a real world scenario. When we built this for the company that I got my start on this, it was a garage door company, because the target audience for this is garage door, plumbers, electrical, those type of people, okay? And when we built this app, the biggest problem that they had was how to manage their workers and how to keep track of their invoices and the scheduling. And it was just a whole bunch of stuff. And we came in and started working with them. And they had an Excel spreadsheet, just an Excel spreadsheet that they were using to keep track of it. This is back in 2012, so it's kind of a different era. They had an Excel spreadsheet that they were using. But the crazy thing is they were using this Excel spreadsheet for 13 years, 1-3, okay? And when we came in, I was like overwhelmed with all the stuff that they wanted to do. So I said, you know what? Why don't we just take your Excel spreadsheet and just digitize it? That's it. And he was like, okay, how is that going to help? And I was like, it'll help because, first of all, you'll have a way to back up your data because he didn't do any backups for like 13 years. Okay. This company, just to give you some perspective, this company was making about $250,000 a month in reoccurring revenue. And they had no backups. They were using Excel. That's how crazy it is. So anyway, I was like, you know what? We're going to charge you $10,000 and we're just going to digitize your Excel. We're just going to replicate what we see on the Excel. And that's it. That's the problem that we solve. Okay. So once we solved that problem, then the owner came to us and be like, hey, I have this problem. I'm trying to solve this, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, okay, no problem. We could build this. And then they came back to us the next month. It's like, okay, thing. And it was like, hey, you're coming to us multiple times. Why don't we set up a contract where every single month we're going to deliver a bunch of features for you? And that's kind of how we got our start. And that's how I built this program. But my point is, I didn't start by thinking about all the different complexities. I started with one single thing. I'm just going to take your Excel. I'm going to digitize it. That's it. I'm going to give you a faster way to do what you're doing in Excel. And then we're going to spring out from there. Okay. And I'll give you one example on top of this. So fast forward like a year later after we built out the app. I remember specifically I was at the office. I wasn't driving at the time. And I was waiting for my taxi at the time, not even Uber. I was waiting for my taxi, okay, to come pick me up. And while I was waiting there, I watched the admin in real time. And just to give some context, I was at this company the entire day because I was learning. I was talking to the business owner. I was trying to understand what they were doing with the program, etc. And this didn't come up because they hadn't a call. I watched the admin person in real time pick up the phone, answer a customer. Hi, Mr. John, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah kind of deal. Okay, you got a problem with your door? Okay, no problem. We'll send somebody out. And then she picked up her phone and she picked up her cell phone and she texted the technician. And I'm sitting in the corner watching her. And I was like, what did you do this now? She's like, oh, I just texted the technician to let him know where to go pick up. And I was like, go figure. She was like, what? I was like, we could build a text message system into the app so that you could just press a button and it'll just send all the details. And she's like, oh, you could do that? And I was like, yeah, we totally could do that. And so we built it. We built a whole text message system. And to this day, that's still one of the most used feature in this app. So if you click here, you could choose the technician, and it'll automatically send out the technician details, the work order, the phone number, the contact details, etc. It could also send it as a push notification. But my point is that feature is still used today. It's one of the most requested feature. And then on top of that, what we added was a layer so that they could respond with A or B or C, and those meant something to the business. It was a simple solution on the back end. I think I might have charged like $5,000 or something for that feature, but it was a game changer for them at the time. And my point is, had I not had been sitting there randomly waiting for my taxi, I would not have known about this feature. That's number one. And number two, nobody ever brought it up because you don't know. They didn't know that was possible, and I didn't know that they had that problem. So my point is, going back to this very complicated question here, which I'll answer in more details, by the way. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody understands on this call that it's super important if you're doing a vibe coded app that you don't start with the most complex thing, and you have to train your brain to kind of ignore all the problem and double down on one problem, like literally one problem. Okay, you just hyper focus on that one problem just so you could get something out the door, get value, and then once you do that, you will start to see where the problems are, and then you'll start to solve for them independently as you get feedback from the customer. All right. I just miss what he said. Hey, Techwood. So basically, what we're talking about is this. How do I describe it in a simple form? The bottom line is that if you have developers, they think very complex, okay, and they try to build and solve every single problem. And what I'm basically telling you to do is solve one problem, okay. Once you solve that one problem for whatever you're building, for whatever customer or whatever, when you get the feedback, that will inform your decision on what to do next. And you have to think like that all the time. That's super, super important, okay? So in other words, don't complex things. Just join. Sup, brethren. How are you doing, man? Good to see you, Mr. Tech Food. And welcome. Welcome, by the way. So yeah, so this is the game. This is the mission. I feel like MVP, minimum viable product. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, MVP is so important, but it's an overloaded term, right? So in today's world, you could go a little bit more than that. You could go from minimum viable product to what the new term is, minimal lovable product. So instead of a viable, is the M, is it you could do MVLP, right, or MLP, right? Minimum lovable product, right? And the reason why you could do it in today's world, minimum lovable product, is because the AIs are so good now that they could write 90% of it for you. So from day one, right, the definition of minimum viable product is like, oh, it's crappy and it has a whole bunch of bugs and you think. Now you could go to at least something that's lovable for one feature. Okay, and let me give you a real world example of this, just to make sure that you guys understand this problem. So as I mentioned to you, I have SnapSuite. This is my software. For those who don't know, it's a contractor software. Yada yada yada. Okay, in this application, there's a feature. For example, if I want to create a new quotation, matter of fact, I'll do it right now with you guys. Okay, I'm going to create a quotation. Okay, this is how I can create a quote. The assumption is the client is already in the system. Okay, the subject. The pricing is already in the system, so I could just choose the price that they want, save it. Okay, I'm gonna do a quote for $2,300. I'm gonna click on save, and then that quote is now here. When I click on edit, I can go in and add more details, etc. And then I have a bunch of templates inside it here. If I click on this button here, preview, okay, what this is going to do, it literally in the background, because this is old school stuff here, it literally opens up Microsoft Word, uses a template, and then injects dynamic data on top of that template, and then closes it, convert it to a PDF, and then basically brings it up. Okay, it's taken a while right now because the print server is 100% cold. Okay, I'll show you. It'll go a little faster in the second time, but this is running in Azure, and their cold start is kind of slow. But anyway, see this? So that document is now up. Okay, that was 100% from a dead start server in the background that opened up Microsoft Word, injected a whole bunch of data inside of it, and then basically close it and then think. And then now I could basically come in here, click on email, and send this out to my clients. All right. Why am I showing you this? Because this feature alone, literally just that feature alone, could be its own independent product. Like 100% its own independent product. There's tons of customers. Actually, I'll give you a real example. My school, I told you guys, I got a kid, 3 years of age, goes to daycare. They send me all these forms, and you know what I have to do? I literally have to print the form on a piece of paper, put my information inside of it, and then hand it back to the teacher when I drop my kid off. I was like, you know what? You guys could just digitize this thing by just basically just dropping this on the computer, have AI automatically convert it to a form, send it out to all your parents, let them fill it out, and then submit it back to you, and you at least get it back by email. And now that's a basic feature, but my point is that could be done today. So that's a concept where you could take this feature that I just showed you here. That's a very, very complex feature in a very big application, and just break it out into its own product by itself. And that would be the definition of a minimum lovable product. Something that's useful, that's independent, is a one feature, and it solves one problem, and that's what you just sell. And you can literally become a multi-million-dollar company by just doing that alone. Okay, because you just start going and selling it to every single preschool or every single school that has this kind of problem. All right. So anyway, that's the goal. What contractor software is it? It's called SnapSuite, and that's snapsuite.io if you're curious, and it's for contractors, HVAC plumbers, electrical company, etc. Okay, these are the price points. We actually don't charge by users, so you could have unlimited clients in there, unlimited users. We don't charge by that. We just charge basically by feature and usage for the most part, which is not heavily enforced, to be honest. So yeah, hopefully that kind of gives you some just a different way to think about the problems, okay? Because you could end up in a world where you're just making things complex, and you get to a state where you have a question like this, right? Which, for those who don't know, is just, this guy's a developer, so I'm not knocking him. I just want to be clear. I'm not knocking his question thing. I'm just basically explaining that he's overthinking the problem and he needs to find one. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And I'm going to think. I did a thing for a. Let me see. Sorry, I did a thing for a kid and started thinking about IDD. What's IDD? I don't know what IDD is. Help me out on that. You didn't answer my question. Leave it now. Oh, sorry. Hang on. What question did I miss? What question did I miss, DV? I'm sorry. Did I miss a question? Oh, what language do you use in coding? I prefer Java. My back end is always C sharp. Front end is JavaScript. I'm sorry about that, man. I didn't see your question. I'm sorry. The chat is moving fast. It's not that fast, but it's fast for me because I'm slow. So yeah, it's Java. So today, in today's world, I actually don't care about the language that much. I'm actually learning Go right now, and I'm learning Go purely because I think it's just it's a significantly faster language. Period. It's just faster, and I want to learn something that is statically typed but super fast. And Go is where it's at. Any single thing other than that, I wouldn't learn. Like, I wouldn't learn Rust or whatever, right? Sorry about that, man. I didn't really think. I'll message you about that just in case. Reply. Let's do that right now. Sorry about that. I'm using C sharp, and hopefully gets that. What other question we got here? Okay, so I did think for a kid and started thinking about IDD, right? If if a person had a stroke, yeah, or they were thanks for the heart, man. Whoever gave that, thank you for the heart. If they were autistic and need to learn colors. Oh, interesting. Oh, cool. That's a very noble project, actually. And I don't know any single thing about that space, but what I will say is that we live in a world where not enough energy and time and effort is given to people that are less fortunate than us. And that could be in the form of people that are financially less fortunate, or people that are physically less fortunate than us. And so, yeah, kudos to you, man. Good stuff. Let me know if there's any way I could help, or any single way. I'm happy to kind of contribute in any single way I can. Join the community if you haven't. I don't know if you're in here, but if you are, please join. I only care about syntax, execution, and outcome. With AI, I love the focus on outcome eventually. Yes. So this is so important of a topic. Okay, so I'm gonna double click on that because I just love that statement in itself, and I'll just kind of share my thought process with everybody else, so at least they could kind of think. Obviously, because since I'm on a live, sometimes I say stupid things. I think I built an app with anti-gravity. Are you thinking about building an app with anti-gravity, or you think you built an app with anti-gravity? Let me go back to tech food for a second and just answer this question about where we are with technology, because I love these type of questions. question statement, whatever you want to call it. See, my mouse is working again. It's just weird. Okay, so it's like this. Okay, when we started out with all this ChatGPT stuff, okay, it's gone again. Oh my goodness, it's so annoying. So okay, sorry. So when we started out with ChatGPT, ChatGPT, I gotta get myself a better pen system because this is just it just stops. It just randomly just stops. Oh my goodness, what's going on, man? And it's not a. Is it a? No, it doesn't use any. Doesn't use any. I don't think it uses. Yeah, no, it's just like passive. It doesn't use battery, or at least I don't remember it using battery. It doesn't look like it open. Anyway, whatever. Get another pen. Cheapskate. Okay, I digress. Where was I? Yes, ChatGPT. Yes. So when we started out with ChatGPT, okay, you had to basically do one thing. And by the way, I still recommend this today, by the way. You had to like ask a question, right, in ChatGPT, get some code of some sort, right? These dashes represent code, okay? And then you basically have to like copy it into your app, okay? And this is my folder structure for an app. Don't judge the drawing, okay? So that's kind of what we had to do. And just so you're clear, in the first 2 years, I rebuilt SnapSuite, my app that I mentioned to you guys. I literally did that, and I rewrote 220,000. It was about 200,000 lines of code manually doing that copy and paste process. I was like, this is amazing. I could just ask a question, get it to write a whole bunch of stuff, and just copy and paste it in. Oh my goodness. And I just did that consistently. I did it for 20 days. And in 20 days, I was able to rewrite an application that took me 12 years to write. I'm not making this up. Okay. So in doing that process, I was like, this is a game changer. But the truth is, you know what? In hindsight, I'm actually really happy that I did that, because now I know like every single line of the code. I know all of the different structure because I literally manually copied and pasted from ChatGPT into the application and structured it properly. So fast forward to today, where we got the gains now, where you literally could just in the IDE just say what you want and it just automatically writes the code. I know where every single line of code for the most part is going, because I direct it very strategically based on what I've already know about my structure of my code and my application. Okay, so I'm going to argue that I'm in a privileged position today as a result of that for my specific app. This is my use case here, right? And this has given me enormous amount of gains. I'll tell you why, just to give you some background and some context. When I had 13 developers, I don't today, but when I had 13 developers for this application, okay, one of the things I used to pride myself on, because I used to do daily calls. I used to do 4 a.m. daily calls because a lot of my developers were overseas. And I wake up every day at 4 a.m. and I'd have a daily call with them. I'd have a 4 a.m. call, I'd have a 5 a.m. call, I'd have a 6 o'clock call every single day, okay? I did that for like 5 years, okay? Almost never missed a day other than one-off vacations. When I did that, okay, I prided myself on making sure that every single line of code that was checked in by my developers, I knew about it. Like there was not a single line of code that I didn't know about or didn't read to make sure that is in alignment with the bigger system and the bigger picture. Because I know code, I'm just going to write it as fast as that. Hopefully that makes sense, right? Fast forward to today, that skill has become extremely useful because now the AI has replaced my developers, and I'm finding that my brain is able to keep up. First of all, it took me a while. It took me like a year, maybe about 9 months or so to kind of get to this level, because there was a point where the AI was working so fast that I couldn't keep up with it. And then there was a point where I was trying to do 3 or 4 things at the same time with the AI, and I found my brain was just like too scattered. Now I just focus on one application and I just let it rip, and I just watch the history as it kind of goes through. And that's enough for my brain to kind of keep up with the code. But to your point, Mr. Tech Food, this is like a game changer, because now you're focused on the outcome of the problem rather than the actual implementation details. But for me personally, I still do implementation. Like I mean, you have to some degree, right? Like this is where being a programmer kind of helps a little bit. There's tons of choices that the AI makes where I'm like, hey, what are you doing, buddy? Like this is completely wrong. You need to think. But that nuance is so important. So, you know, for everybody that doesn't really understand this, if you're a vibe coder or you're learning vibe coding or you're trying to vibe coding, do not just allow the AI to just do the whole thing by itself without reading the history and understanding what it's actually doing, because this iterative process is what's going to give you the skill to be able to get really good. And eventually you're going to get sort of like a sixth sense, right? Understanding of how it's working and what actually makes sense. And now, let me tell you how confident I am. Okay, just to give you an idea, this feature here, I built this feature to send out notifications to investors. Okay, I built this feature to send out notification to investors, and I literally just tell it, hey, these are the files that they needed to look at. Here's the structure of the application. This is the structure, blah blah blah. And then I basically like, here's all the things that I want you to do. Go, and I just let it walk away. Came back, looked at the summary. I'm like, good, done. Okay, because I've built up a level of intuition about what the AI is good at and when it's not good. And that allows me to be able to decide when to just let it just rip and when I need to like granularly pay attention to it. And that's something that you can't learn in school. You just have to like iterate until you kind of get a feel for it. And then it becomes your sort of thing. So yeah. Okay. Got lots of message in the chat. Got to keep up with it. Hopefully I didn't rant too much about that topic. But yeah, no, thanks for mentioning that tech food. Okay, next level will show up. Great. Junie Love S. So I think I built an app with anti-gravity. Yes, okay, so right, you got it. Think, LOL, that's Star Trek Go to Space Force. Okay, DJ Cray Introx, Lovable, Vercel, Bolt. Which one would you advise to use for my next SaaS? Loaded question, but I've already answered it. So I'm going to point you to my YouTube channel, which is this one here. So on this YouTube video, I have a full breakdown where I go through Figma, Gemini, Stitch, Vercel, Replit, you name it. Like I've Lovable, Bolt, Firebase. I went through all of it, and then on the other side, I show you about GitHub and the bigger tools like AWS, Google, etc., and answer exactly which one you should use. But to give you a quick synopsis answer here, I'll tell you what my path is right now. So go watch that video. I'll give you the details. Let me drop it inside of the YouTube as well too, because not a lot of people on YouTube, but I'm still pushing it there. Hey YouTube guys, feel free to ask a question if you want. So Mr. DJ Cray, so what I do right now is I use Stitch. I use Google Stitch as my design canvas because this is how I get speed. I use this as my design canvas. And then see here, you could do view code. And it depends on the type of app that I'm building. If I'm building an app that I don't care about the code, in other words, I'm like, you know what? I'll build this. It's fine. However it turns out code wise, I don't really care that much. Then I don't do this process. Okay. I just what I do is I click here on more, and then I go to export, and I send that over to AI Studio, and AI Studio will turn that into a full application, basically anti-gravity, because anti-gravity is now connected to this. That's the process that I use now. Why do I use Stitch? Let's answer that question. Because Stitch is really good, in my opinion, about iterating on designs. It's one of the better tools that I've found for doing this. But more importantly, for me, what it does is it allows me to get the code, the pure HTML, which I care about. And then what I do is I download the pure HTML, I put it in a folder, and then I iterate on implementing the design. Because the applications so normally I use Nux, not React. I'm not a React guy. Frankly, I hate React. I'm going to get a lot of hate in this chat because of that. But I'm not a React person. And frankly, the performance on React is not good enough for me. That's just my opinion. Let me rephrase that. React is really good. It's fast. It's efficient because there's a lot of people working at it. But there's other frameworks that have solved all the problems that React suffers from in a much more elegant way. And I don't have to think about all that complexity. Nux is definitely one of them. Vue.js, in other words. And then if you really want to get on the bleeding edge, Solid.js and Svelte, SOL, IDJS. Okay. So anyway, the point is with these applications, this is closer to React, by the way. With these application, the issue is that they spit out, they're not React applications. And so it's hard to get proper React code. So normally I would do this where I get the HTML and then I ask it to convert it to Vue. Hopefully that makes sense. And then I kind of go from there. But yeah, go watch that video. It's going to give you sort of thing. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to it. And it'll answer in depth. It's like how long is it? Like a 10 minutes video. Yeah, 10 minutes, 9 minutes and 56 seconds. And it'll go through the details. Which one is the best choice? Great question though. Okay, I gotta keep up. You guys are going pretty fast here. All right. Hang on. Okay, hang on. Okay, trying to keep up with you, Mr. Tech Food. I appreciate your messages. Okay, so the force is real. Yes, I agree with you. My Gemini is doing that with me. She's teaching me. But Claude is like, I'll do it for you. Yes, this is true. Yes, that's 100%. Like I stopped using all the models. So that's the other thing too, right? Like we're in definitely a world of like LLM overload. No question about it, right? Like the race is on. I will equate this to, this is how old I am. The 2000s when the dot-com bubble was around, right? I don't know if you guys remember this era, but I'm old enough to remember it, so I'll teach you, okay? There was Yahoo, then there was Alta Vista, there was, oh my goodness, Lycos. I remember using Lycos for a bit. There was Alta Nova. There was like 15 or 20 different search engines. Every day there was one popping up. And then Google just came out of nowhere and just took all of them by storm. And I remember specifically the day where I was using Alta Vista. Okay, for those who don't know, that's how old I am. Alta Vista, I was using Alta Vista as my search engine. And then I remember the day when Google, because I used a test between the two of them, and I remember the day when Google just became really, really good. And I was like, that's it. The game is over. I'm done. Google all day long. And from this day, I never stopped using Google until ChatGPT come around. And now I don't even touch Google. Okay, it took like 20 years for that to happen, but it did happen. My point is this. Where we are right now in the LLM race is like that. We're in the wild, wild west of LLMs, right? Large language models. So you got the fight between Gemini and ChatGPT, and everybody's racing to the bottom, and Anthropic and Claude Code and this and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you basically find a model that's working good enough for your use case. You stick with it and you just get really, really good at it. Because the details is not in switching with the models. Now it's about going deep. So now I'm 100% on Claude 4.6. That's it. Okay, that's my daily driver. The only time I'm on other models is if I'm iterating on ChatGPT. Holy crap, the chat is going like crazy. Link. Okay, hang on. Let me get the link, and then I'll try to keep up with the chat. You guys are killing me in a good way. DWIN. So link, here's a link for somebody that asked, and then I'm going to try to get to the questions. I promise you. Okay, take the chat's going crazy. This is by far the most people I've had on this live. Okay, where was I? Okay, let me try to get through the questions. So I got to stop talking too much. You nailed it. Go join the community. Hang on. Okay, hang on. Okay, let me see. Yes, crazy. I actually talked to like an intern. Yeah, that's true. I do that as well. What's your most preferred cloud infrastructure and why? Okay, everybody's asking this question. So I'm just going to point you to the school community. Join the school community. I have the answer in there. Okay, the answer is Cloudflare. And why? Because it's the cheapest and the most scalable at global scale. That's the reason. I appreciate you answering the question. School community link, that's the school community link. And if you really want to know the details, I have a video on my YouTube channel about that, which I've dropped it in here before, but I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna call Claudette now. Okay, hang on. Still trying to get through the messages here. Rita, what's your YouTube? Didn't see it. I just drop it in the chat so you can get that. Let me see if I can get through questions here. What's your most preferred? Yeah, answer that one. I'm French speaking, not easy. Hey man, I feel your pain because I don't know French, so not easy for me as well to speak your language. But you know what? With the beauty of AI, like we can make this work. So join the school community, watch the YouTube videos, and use the Google Translate feature in the browser, and we can make this work. Okay. You nailed it. I'm going to join the community. I see your focus. Very yard. We can make a story and hang. Yeah, 100%, man. Like, absolutely. Come in any single time. What's your YouTube channel? Answer that one already. Is there some in there when someone tells one? I don't know what that means. Keep moving on. Is anti-gravity free? Yes, anti-gravity is free. I have it. I don't use it much because, like I said, I'm focused on Claude. I'm focused on Claude 4.6. In fact, just to give you an idea how much I'm focused on Claude 4.6, okay? I use it through VS Code, by the way, because Microsoft. I know that Microsoft is subsidizing my Claude subscription, so I'm capitalizing on that. Okay, so to give you an idea, Copilot features. Where is it? So here, right now I'm on my premium request, which I'm paying. I don't know how much I'm paying. $40 a month for. I'm 34% on it. Okay. Update your budget and plan. Can I see my last year usage? How do I see usage here? Hang on. There's a way to see usage. Let me just see here. Let me see more features. ChatGPT. Budget and requests. Here, usage. There we go. Usage. There we go. Yeah. Look at this. So last month, where did I go? Can I go to last month? Where are we? Current month. Okay, last month. Yeah, there we go. Yes. Okay. So last month I did. I think I went over my usage. Yeah. See, I'm almost hitting $200 last month. Okay, on a $40 plan. Like I think I went over my usage by like 300%. And I'm on the max plan on here, but I'm getting way more usage out of this way than using Claude directly. Even though I do pay for Claude directly, by the way, and ChatGPT directly. But I found that this has been like a hidden gem where Microsoft is kind of subsidizing the cost of 4.6. And I'm like, I'm going to pound 4.6 as hard as I possibly can. I get throttled on a daily basis because I max out the usage. And then I just switch to Claude directly, use it for a bit until I could get unthrottled and then I go back. So that's how I'm using it. But yes, anti-gravity is free. Okay. Trying to keep up with you guys here, guys. Questions. Anti-gravity, yes, free, but in the end we'll switch first. Google ecosystem. Thanks for answering that, Juliet. Yes, but you can pay for Google Pro plan. Yes, that's right. You can. Yes, the Pro plan is you do have to pay for that. Mention that. Stick with it. Stitch. Okay, thanks. Yes. So okay. Jeez, you mean, man, I'm trying to keep up with you guys. Yeah, you gotta get, gonna say I could have Chromium browser. Who leading? Leading what? Link. Okay, did I give you the link? Yes, I did already, but I'm gonna drop it inside of there again, just to make sure. Okay. Trying to keep up with you guys here. Really, I guess we're gonna both be dating Claude. That's funny. At Dwayne. Dogfather at Dwayne Rita. Okay, okay. Okay, get into the end here. Give the name of your channel and not the URL. Name of the channel is Dwayne Brown. That's the name. See here, right here. I got two channels, by the way, but Dwayne Brown is the name. So at Dwayne Brown, at the Dwayne Brown. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Still brand new channel, still working on it. Haven't been posting much lately, to be honest. I just been doing these lives every so often, and I got a bunch of stuff on there. But I'm gonna be posting more frequently. I've just been busy, just working, just like writing code to actually build my startup. Like, just so you guys know, I'm actually in the trenches building a real startup. Like, I'm like I'm not like some like random. Oh, I'm just telling you guys about the latest code. Like, I'm like, this is what's working for me. Here's why I'm using it. Here's the speed that I've been able to gain. In the last month, I've built out like 4 new features for this application. And like I said, this application here is touching 1 million lines of code. This is not a trivial application. I just want to be clear. This is like See, I just built out this AR screen, accounts receivable screen. It has a whole section about like so you could like see all your clients and all that. It's a very complex application, and the performance gain that I've been able to make on this is unreal. Things that I wanted to do for years. Like I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that today. Gonna do that tomorrow. Gonna do that next week, and it's scaling, and I'm delivering. I'm releasing features every 3 days on this application, and this is touching 1 million lines of code. So this is a fairly big application, okay? And I'm one person, just to be clear, or at least writing code right now. I'm not one person as a company. Actually, this is an example of an application that I built. So you see here, when you hover over here, it shows you all systems are operational. If you click on it, it gives you the status. It's a status page, right? But what it actually does, it tests from your computer the speed to our backend to make sure that it's given right, and then it'll tell the user what's like the different modules and the speed. So see 1.5 seconds, whatever. But you could also come here and do a test to see if it's actually like properly working. And the one thing that I built with this here is that it also self-reports. So if the application detects that it's slow, it actually puts a banner that says, hey, we're having some networking issues, like thing, and then you could just click on the page to kind of see the details. It just self-report, but more importantly, it tells me which user is actually experiencing performance issues in real time, that I could go look at it, and normally it resolves itself pretty fast. But the reason why I brought it up was that this application here was built in Google Stitch. The design, because I wanted it to look user-friendly, and the design was done in Google Stitch. I iterated on it a couple times, and then I had Google AI Studio build it out, and then I brought it into VS Code to do the details, and then push it into Cloudflare. And this is 100% Cloudflare application. And then if I go here, I have more details for me on that same application that monitors the entire application at scale, monitoring all the details, making sure that all the endpoints are up, and it just gives me the full history. And this is running on the clock in the background all the time on Cloudflare, so independent of the main application. And this is a perfect example of what you could do with Cloudflare, because it has its own database, it has its own infrastructure, it has its own cron jobs, all the stuff, and it's just running independently, just monitoring my main application, which is, by the way, sitting in between Cloudflare and Azure, just in case you're wondering. So yeah, okay. Looking at the chat again. Me too. Building. What are you building? Me too. I'm building, but I know how to use Claude with Lovable, but I want to learn more. Hey, man, if you want to learn more, you're in the right place. Join the school community, and let's learn together. Okay, shall we take another question from the school community? Since I think I've caught up with you guys. You guys are kind of chatting amongst yourselves, which is kind of cool to see. So this is the first for me where I have a bunch of people in the chat, and you guys are just kind of dialoguing amongst yourself. I'm pending. That's great. Okay, let's answer another question from the chat, because that was the whole goal. We're doing live Q&A today. What else we got inside of here? Better Auth. Okay, let's talk about Better Auth here. Let's see what he got. This guy's another developer guy in here, so he kind of knows his stuff. I like him. He's from Brazil. Auth is often a bureaucratic. I know what he's saying. I just don't know how to pronounce the word. Bureaucratic. There we go. Bureaucratic and a verbose task to implement in our SaaS application. But there's one very suitable option. One that is easy to set up and easier to reproduce and duplicate across multiple projects. I'm talking about Better Auth. This is an amazing library, allows us to easily set up and customize authentication apps. It works extremely well with Cloudflare for real, with cache enabled. We're talking about 20 millisecond auth requests as close as possible to the client. Yes, agreed. And by the way, I'll distill the question. I just want to kind of wrap my brain around the actual question itself, or if there's a question. I don't think there is. In this guide, which I won't post here because it's too long, I'll show you how to set up a Better Auth on top of Hono and Cloudflare. Oh, nice. And how to use D1 as a database and Key1 for database cache. I'll also add some cool features such as OpenAI routes, scalar, admin, blah, 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 and thing. Check it out, Gabriella. You know what? This is actually pretty good. This is amazing. Hey guys, we like if you need to do better art. It's funny. Let me just like this right now and say, hey Gabriel, thank you for posting. This is actually amazing. I'm just checking it out right now, and this is actually fantastic. Like so this is a really cool. This is a cool article. I'm gonna drop it in the chat just in case you guys wanted to check it out. Go give this guy a follow. He's really good. He's very knowledgeable. He knows about good stuff. I've watched some of the applications that he's built. We had a couple calls together, and it's good. Like it's good. Like he shows you all the details and how to make this work. Right. This might be for more the developers. Like it's not for an entry level person, but yeah, by all means. And plus, it's a really nice website too. Very nice. I love the design of it and the font choice. Yeah, thanks for doing this, man. This is really good. So the point is, guy, you could see like we got some really good members in the community, and they are exceptional at what they do. And frankly, I can't take credit for any of the skills that these people have. Okay, they know their stuff, and they just basically think, "Bro, I joined your community. I'm a developer now." Hey, yes, great. Thank you for that, Mr. Paul WF Work from Home Dad. Hey, I know you, the veterinary guy that I made fun of the last time. Yeah. Join for sure. Would love to think we have developers in here. It's not just it's not just novice people is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and also the cloud I'm trying to bring some more advanced courses on. What I've been doing is I've been really focused on the essentials because I want to make sure that this is an accessible place for most people. So I literally start with like how the internet works at a high level. Obviously, like I can't give all the details, but the point is at a very, very high level, and I bring that all the way to database and caching and background and queues so that you could get like a solid kind of like mental framework of how to think about it. So when you're building an actual application, you have like a mental framework. Because to be honest with you, if I learned some of this stuff like way back when, I'd be way further ahead. I found that like all this information is kind of just spread all over the internet, and as we know, it's really hard unless you're going to like university and spend like 5 years doing thing, or college, whatever you want to call it, right? So this has been my attempt at doing that, and hopefully the non-technical people, if you get value from this, you could give me the feedback because it's super important, at least I think, and I'm going to make changes to it in the future. But and then you go to the Cloudflare course. But even on the Cloudflare course, this is very entry level. Okay, just be clear. Got a question on YouTube, which I'm going to answer here. So, what database would you recommend for use with Cloudflare? D1 is not always a good option due to 10 gig limit. Okay, HydroDrive plus Neon. Okay, so the first question that I have to ask the question. Okay, first of all, you sound like you know what you're talking about, so you might be a developer. So I'm gonna answer this in two parts. I'm gonna answer for non-technical, and then I'm gonna answer for developer. Okay, if you're non-technical, 100% D1 all day long. I have shown you I don't know how many apps. Okay, maybe you just join. Okay, this app here, D1 database. This app here, some D1 database. Where's the other one? This app that has property management, D1 database. What am I doing with I know this seems like very simple. There's a lot of stuff here in the background. Just so you know what this app is doing, it's literally going and scraping all the properties in Brooklyn, like scraping all the properties in Brooklyn in the background, and it's going through and it's going to find the deeds for the property. Is going to find when the property was last sold. It's going to pull up the records, the PDF, all that kind of stuff. It's going to give it a score. It's going to shove it in the database, and then it's going to bring it up to the user so they could see it. Okay, and even at that level, I'm not even like remotely meeting the scale for D1 database yet. Okay, 10 gigabytes is a lot. Okay, just to be clear, it's a lot. You can do a lot with 10 gigabytes. You could have a 10 gigabyte D1 database and get to $1 million in revenue. Okay, and just so you know, the properties that we're dealing with inside of this app, it's they're on average 1.5 to $2.5 million on average. Every single property that you're seeing inside of here. Okay, so you could do quite a bit of damage with D1 database. I just want to preface this by that because I don't want to discourage the non-technical people that are saying, oh, D1 database is too small, you know, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. Good, good. Now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to do one more thing. We'll talk about these guys. These guys that I don't have my subscription ended anymore, but use anymore. Canva uses D1 database under the hood for certain things, not for everything, but for certain things. How are they using it? The intention of D1 database was never supposed to be one database for an entire application. That was not what they were building it for. They were building it for cases where you have random users throughout the globe and you have to kind of isolate and keep data per user or per tenant or however you want it to. So the idea with a D1 database is when you spin up an application, you would basically, every time a new user signed up for your app, you would create a D1 database for them. And if you do that at that level, like it scales globally, it's an amazing thing because it just scales. Now, that being said, the downside is that if you want to get reporting and analytics, you have to kind of centralize the data, which is a data warehouse type of problem, right? So don't think of D1 database as like decentralized application database for your entire app. Think of it as a decentralized database to store in per tenant or per user information, depending on what is it that you're doing. That's the way to think about D1 database. I have been using it the opposite way because what I find with D1 database is that it's extremely light, it's extremely fast, and it's super easy for me to scale up like applications, super easy. And that's why I've been using it. So would I use Neon and Hyperdrive? Absolutely yes. If I'm like for sure going to cross the limit in that 10.1 database and I need the centralized sort of like access. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. This is a very good question. And I'm actually working on a video specifically on Hyperdrive because it's kind of like the unknown thing. And maybe people don't know. So maybe I should talk about what Hyperdrive is instead of like glossing over the details, assuming that everybody is. Okay, let's talk about Hyperdrive for a second, shall we? And then we'll think. Anybody hiring at your school community? Anybody hiring in your school community? Not sure. Good question though. What Cloud Code your what gives Cloud Code your oh my goodness, I can't read. Hang on a second. Let me just read the question. Geez. Okay. Let me see. What give Cloud Code your notify API key and it should don't it? Okay, maybe you're talking to somebody else. I mean Vercel. Or give okay. If it doesn't work, I'll try Azure or AWS. Okay, hang on. What's going on here? You guys are having your own conversation. Yeah, no problem. DDV S3B. Totally Spark already did that. Thanks and all to the issue. Bro, I joined your community. I'm a developer now. Great. Anyone here want someone to build them an app? Build their app. Okay, we got some Mr. Ted guy trying to sell his services. What kind of language are you building, Mrs. Ted guy? And then Super Base. Okay, I was an agent at Gun Hill 5. I used the data. Okay, cool. Okay, anybody hiring in the school community? I don't know if anybody's hiring, but you're welcome to kind of join in and ask a question if they are. Most of these people are trying to build their own stuff. So to be honest with you, I don't think it's the right audience for you. But yeah, no, I'll give you the link again. But do feel free to join. Just don't spam the community, okay? Like just be respectful. Else I'll just kick you out. Just be clear, okay? Join the community. Share what you're working on, share what you're doing, what your skill set is, and see if anybody needs help. Happy to do that. It's an open community, but I also don't want people to like spam each other, okay? Because nobody's selling any single thing in there. We're just trying to learn and build from each other. So I just dropped the link inside of there, Mr. Pak. PAK1 Pak1 Stan, Pakistan. Yeah. So right, where was I? I was talking about yes, Hyperdrive. Back on the DDV S3B. Let's double click on your hyperdrive. What is this and how it works? Again, this mouse thing is driving me nuts. Okay, see, it's working now, and then it's gonna stop. Or is it? Does it stop when I do the pen? Maybe it is. Yes, that's what happens, eh? Okay, so weird. Or maybe when I take my hands, something is going. Like I don't know what it is. Okay, it's working now, so I'm just gonna go with it. Okay, so let's say that you are here. Okay, and you are. Oh, of course, it stops already. Oh, so annoying. So annoying. Okay. Let's do a map of the world, shall we? Okay. This is my rough map of the world, okay? This is America for you. And this is Europe over here, okay? However, in Africa, okay, and something like that. Okay. So let's just say, okay, so let's just say you got a user over here, right? And you have a user over here. And then you have a user over here, okay? Why Cloudflare works really, really well is because they just literally have data centers all around the globe, right? And let's say you're the developer here and you deploy your app here, it automatically gets replicated to all the different regions automatically. You don't have to think about this, okay? So when you, the user, one of your customers or whoever is here, it just goes to the closest region automatically. You don't have to think about this. You don't have to do any configuration. There's nothing that you have to do. This just works on day one. And in fact, I love their slogan. It's like deploy to region Earth. Okay. Contrast that to AWS and Google and Microsoft. What you do is when you do a deployment here, that's it. It stays there. And then what you have to actually do is you have to physically set up another data center to replicate it, and you have to pay for that replication and all that kind of craziness. Okay, there's a place and time for that, but that's not what Cloudflare is, and that's not the benefit of Cloudflare. Good. Now that we got that out of the way, there is a problem though, because if your application is distributed all over the place, it means that potentially your users might be coming from all over the place. And the problem is that your database might be sitting in America, let's just say. It's not replicated all over the place. So what ended up happening is whenever somebody, let's say somebody here logs in to your application, they need to connect to your database. Your database is now replicated. It can, but let's say for the sake of this argument, your database is not replicated. Okay. When that happens, you hit the database, and the problem is that if that happens for every single person that's on your app, each person will have their own connection to the database. So this is the problem, because your database only can have so many connections hitting it at any given point in time. It gets overloaded pretty fast based on connection. Let's call it the number of connection that it will allow. Okay, just to keep the conversation simple. So what is hyperdrive? Hyperdrive is this new thing that Cloudflare has, because they obviously know that this is a problem. And what it does, I'm going to put it in the middle here just for the sake of this conversation. Okay. What it does, it takes everybody's request and route it to hyperdrive. Okay. It just routes it to that. So it doesn't matter who you are, it routes it here. And then what it does is that it maintains the connections and pool, and then it decides how to connect to the database. So it basically aggregates a whole bunch of connections and simplify it to the backend. And this is what they're using. This is a Cloudflare specific problem. So it's a Cloudflare specific solution to just simplify connecting to the database so that your database doesn't get overloaded. So Mr. DDV-S3B on YouTube was asking if I recommend using hyperdrive and database, which is what this product is. All right. So that being said, though, if you're using D1 database, what D1 database does, it just puts a database right next to your user automatically. Now, I'm oversimplifying. It actually doesn't really do that. It kind of routes you to a region, etc. But it's kind of roughly the same principle. So you don't have to think about where the database is. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, hopefully that helps. Let me see. Questions here. Hey brother, is it paid? What's paid? Is the community paid? No, the community is not paid. You can join for free. Okay, 100% free. My goal is to teach 1 million people for free how to build their SaaS product. Okay, come and pay me when you need to learn how to scale. All right. but the concept of what I'm teaching you and how I'm helping you to build and giving you all of my experience, 100% free. Okay, so yeah, that's my mission. It's like I want to teach 100 people. Sorry, 100 people. I want to teach 1,000,000 people how to build an actual application. I want to teach them how to take. I want to take my 20 years of developer knowledge. I want to distill it, simplify it. I'm going to throw away all the stuff that you don't need because I've already done all the hard work, and I'm just going to give it away for you for free, 100% free. And my only goal is for you to spread the word to as many people as you possibly can, so that I become famous and rich. I'm just kidding. So we could just share the wealth. Okay. If you got some value from this and you know somebody else that will learn or get some value, share it to other people. Hey, I just realized there's 17 people sitting in my live. That is amazing. Okay. This is by far the most amount of people. I said that last week. I'm here again this week, and for sure I got more people. If you guys could do me a favor, just tap on the screen. That would be really appreciated. This is the YouTube people. For the people on YouTube, this is the TikTok people. Just double tap on the screen a couple times just to kind of boost the thing. If we could get to 10,000 hearts, that'd be amazing for me. That's all I ask for. Okay, I give away the content for free. You guys just come here, learn some stuff, ask your questions. Okay, I'm giving you world-class consultation knowledge that I could charge $300-400 a thing for, because I used to do consulting for companies and what the deal is per hour, not per month, and I'm just giving you guys for free. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Oh my God, you are wonderful. Thank you. Christine is trying. Happy to help. How and when do you start daily? We don't do daily, bro. Yeah, we're not there yet. We're once a week. Okay, we're once a week. Every Friday between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. I'm gonna try to do daily though. I'm gonna try to do daily because I'm realizing that there's so much value and people are coming out at all different times. But I'm gonna try to do the afternoon and thing. It's just in my pro. It's just my calendar is not full right now. I'm just extremely busy with coding, and I don't want to. I'm trying to maximize my time. So I'll share my This is my stats here, by the way, which I'm proud of. This is my stats. Just so you guys know, I'm not BSing you and any single thing. So today I only worked for 4 hours. What a lazy bum. But that's just so you know, this is so I use a tool called Rescue Time. I've been using this tool since 2008. Just to prove that to you here. Okay, my goals for the day is I always want to do at least 2 hours. At least 3 hours in the IDE, meaning development. Normally these days I do way more than that. And in a Visual Studio, I normally do like 4 hours or so. That's my goal. Okay. But there's my stats, just so you guys know I'm not BSing you on any single thing here. Total time logged, okay? 42, how is this? So, okay, how much is it? 42,000 hours and 15 minutes, okay? Appeal. Sorry, TikTok is trying to ban me again for some reason here. Hang on a second. One second. Hold that thought. Okay, there we go. I gotta keep appealing every, I don't know why TikTok is trying to ban me. I really don't know why. Anyway, look at this. 42,000 hours total time logged. How many time out of that I've worked? Roughly 50%. 24,000 hours logged. Okay, just to let you guys understand. I've been doing this for a while, guys. Okay, no joke. I've been doing this for a while. Okay. So what is your live schedule? I answer that question every Friday, 1 to 10. Yes, 1 to 4. For now, I'm gonna go live more frequently, more often. What should I make for a realtor? For a realtor, so it depends. You're in Pakistan, based on your name, I presume. So the thing that I would build for a realtor right now is how to find the properties to connect with them. So what do I mean by that? So one of the problems that realtor have, and I just know this because I've been just watching YouTube video. I have no affiliation with realtor market. Well, actually, that's not true. My brother is a real estate person, so I'm building out a tool for him right now. But one of the problems that the real estate market has right now is that they have to do a lot of cold calling to find their leads. And there's different depending on the country that you're in. I'm in Toronto, Canada, by the way. There's a lot of regulations around where and when and how you could call and advertise and all this kind of stuff. So they still have this old school way that you have to pick up the phone and dial their number. So the problem is that you have to do a lot of research on the properties, and you can't, I think, solicit the research or something like that, or advertise or something. So it requires a lot of manual process. So if you could build a tool that could basically like canvas an area and get all of the details for the real estate agent so that they don't have to do it, and then get the name and the phone number or whatever it is and the problems with the property so that they could just make the calls, that'd probably be something that I would build for your market. So find a realtor, talk to them about it, build it for free, learn the details, and then go sell it to other people. Okay, that's how you do it. Who would like to build interesting project with me? Hey, Total Spark, join the community. Ask the question inside of there. There might be somebody that might be willing to join with you. This has come up multiple times. There's a bunch of people inside of there that that is interested in building as a group. The reason why I haven't done it as yet is because the truth is I want to see more motivation from the group first. But by all means, connect with a group, and if there's anybody that's interested inside of there, happy to thing. Okay, what else we got? Hello, Yazan. Hello, how are you? Total Spark, how interesting. Okay, great. This live is for education purposes only. Yes, it is. Should I be saying that? This live is for education purposes only. TikTok, do not ban my live. And again, if you guys are getting like, hey, we're almost at 9,000, just double click on the tap button. We could get to 9,000, guys. I got 12 people inside of here. We're up at 17. That's amazing. Brother, let me come in. I requested. Okay, brother. I will do that as soon as I get out the live. Help with TikTok. Yes. Please do. Please double check my live. This is the most people I've had inside of here. So that means that you guys are actually getting, hopefully, some value. At least I'm getting value. I get to just talk and burn out my energy. So when I talk to my wife, she doesn't complain. I'm just kidding. But I do talk a lot. So this is a way for me to get all of the energy out, because she's like, man, do you talk a lot? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I just got stuff in my brain that I want to get out. So I'm sure you guys can relate to it, hopefully. We're almost at 10K. Thank you so much, Mr. Babs. B-A-B-S. Yes. Am I pronouncing this right? Yeah, listen, I appreciate you guys. Like, we're almost there. We're almost there. The TikTok crowd, no offense to the YouTube crowd, but the TikTok crowd, a whole lot of that energy, man. I gotta hand it to you guys. You guys are amazing. Like, amazing. Now, I'm also streaming right now on Twitter and on Twitch, but yeah, not even close. Like the number of people that engage, I don't even think anybody engages on those things. It's just I'm just doing it for the sake of just putting thing. Your subs and then expire. Click. Yeah. Like nobody's actually on these streams. Nobody's actually thinking. Yeah, see, nobody's even watching on Twitch. So I just do that just because I just want to think. So anyway, good afternoon. Thanks for all of that doing. How do I access the group? You can join by going to this link, sir. And you could sign up for free. So good. We're almost at 10K. Yeah. Hey. 10K. Thank you guys. Appreciate that so much. I sound like one of those TikTok people that like know what they're doing. I don't, just to be clear. So yeah, okay. Do we have any more questions? If not, thanks for the help on TikTok. So let's go back. Let's go see if we could tackle one more question before we think. Community. Let's go. Look at that. We got 5 people joined today. So let's see. One more question. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, man. So anyone using speech to text? Yeah, okay. You know what? Let's go do this one. What are you building right now? Let's go do this one because I didn't actually do this. Just wondering if anyone uses or is experimenting with text to speech. If so, what are you using? I'm curious. What are you using for? How are you producing text to speech? And are you using a service or an app or something else? If you don't mind me asking, how are you and how much are you paying for it? So this is actually a really good question. How do you join the community? You could join with this link, sir. So text to speech. Okay, let's talk about this one here because this is a big topic, super big topic, but I'm going to kind of distill it. All right. So first of all, TTS are expensive on GCP. Don't use GCP. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. Do not use GCP. Let's talk about text to speech. Okay, what am I doing with text to speech? Let's start with the tool that I'm using for text to speech. Actually, let's start with why I'm using this tool for text to speech. Okay, so I use LiveKit for text to speech. All right, you guys remember ChatGPT when it first came out and I brought out the app? Anybody remember the actual app itself for ChatGPT? This one. Come on. Hey, how's it going?
Hey there, doing well. Thanks for asking. Hope you're doing great too.
Hey, I'm trying to do evaluation on a couple of text-to-speech platform. Which one do you recommend? Quickly.
Absolutely. There are a few solid text-to-speech platforms out there, and it really depends on what kind of voice quality and integration you're after.
Yeah,
For
okay.
a quick recommendation, if you want something super natural and flexible, you might lean towards platforms like 11 Labs or Amazon Polly. Both give you a nice range of voices.
Good. Okay. That app, okay? When this app came out, I was blown away, okay? In fact, I had my AirPods. I don't have it in front of me. I had my AirPods, and I would literally, I'm not making this up, I'd be in the shower with my AirPods talking to ChatGPT, okay? Yeah, call me a freak, call me a weirdo, call me a geek, whatever you want to call it. My wife calls me all of the above. And yeah, I was like, hey, this is amazing. The problem is today it's more dumbed down now, so you can't get as much information out of it, which is really annoying because it was so good when it came out. And now it's like I asked her a bunch of questions, it just kind of generalizes stuff. And I was like, you know what, you're too stupid for me now. So the reason, okay, so let me get that. So when I was talking to it, I would be driving, going up to pick up my wife or whatever, and I'd be talking to AI in the car on speaker. So that was just really amazing, and I really, really wanted to know what they were doing in the background, how they were making it possible. Anyway, I did all the research. Thank you. So you guys don't have to. And the company that they were using behind the scenes was LiveKit. Okay, see here, LiveKit, OpenAI. So once I figured that out, I just went hard on LiveKit because I was like, what they're doing, I don't want to do any single thing less. Okay, my bar is what ChatGPT is doing at their scale. So that's my bar. All right. Just so you know, and I'm very serious about this, ChatGPT in the background uses Cosmo DB as a database. That's what I use. All right. I'm just like, what I'm building is on level with ChatGPT because there's a lot of very smart guys over there. But my point is that's my bar. So so I started experimenting with LiveKit, and it's by far one of the best tools. Excuse me. That I've been using to experiment with. It's really good. Let me see if I could demo it here quickly. I'll see if I could demo it. I have this built into my app, by the way, but so why am I using it and how am I using it? I'm using it so that whenever you pick up the phone for my lead score application for the people that are new, you can make phone calls in this application. Okay, so Dwayne, so let me log out to here and user. This is because there's a production account. Let me just log in with a demo account here. So demo. Okay. So if I log in here and see, I got this. I was so thinking about this. I have this privacy option that just allows you to think, but this is all demo data, so I could call inside of here. That's no problem. But anyway, if I click on this and I click on call, it'll see it's kind of dropping out and then coming back in quickly because I made some changes recently that broke some stuff, so I had to fix it. But anyway, it would just allow me to make a call in real time. It would do the transcription and then it would basically save it to my notes like instantly. Okay, That system is using the live kit behind the scenes. This one here. Okay. So let me see if I could. They don't make it easy for you to call inside of here because they made some recent changes that's really annoying me. Um, so I can't actually make a call inside of here anymore. So sadly, I can't show you guys that. That being said, though, this is by far one of the best tools out there. Now, actually here. So this is the agent that I have, and I could edit in Agent Builder. Let me see if I get it to run inside of here, so you can get an idea. It'd be a better demo if I could just show you in here. Last week I did it, but like I said, I made some things. So here, let's see. Hello. Yeah, how are you doing? For what? What do you need? What do you need? Yeah. You know what? I don't have time for your craziness. I'll see you later on. Yeah. So anyway, this thing here, the LLM is all screwed up because I've been experimenting with a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, this agent, the voice is really good. That being said, though, this agent here is even better, Vappy. So I'm like, you know what, Vappy is actually really really good. So I've been experimenting with Vappy also, and what I'll say is this. This one I can actually make a real call to. I'll show you guys how it works. So I have an assistant right now that is pretending like it does. It's working for a veterinary clinic. So let's call that one. Okay. I have the number inside of here. So let's call it, and then you'll hear it how it works, and then you guys will tell me what you think. Speaker.
For calling. How can I help you today?
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. How can I assist you today?
I just got a question about my dog. It has a rash. I'm trying to see if I could get this rash off of it. It seems really like a bad rash.
I understand your concern about your dog's rash. Would you like to book an appointment with us to have it checked by a
I just need some
professional?
help, buddy. Like I'm desperate right now. I'm just trying to get some help.
I, I understand that you're in need of immediate assistance. Let me transfer you to someone who can help you right away. Please hold
Bro,
on for a
I
moment.
don't need transfer.
Transferring you
Can
to
you
a team
listen to
member
me,
now.
please? Hey, can you listen to me? I don't need a transfer. I'm just trying. See, okay. So it's literally making a transfer for me to answer. So that's what I was trying to call. Um, so if you listen to that voice quality, it's like rock solid, and the latency is like almost there. There's just like a super super small delay. But if you look here, it's using this agent for GPT-4 cluster, and it's hovering. So in my testing so far, okay, 600 milliseconds is about where you need to be. Where is it? For G.C 4.0 cluster. Shits, where is it? Here. Yeah, 600 milliseconds. You need to be underneath that in terms of latency. Okay. Why am I telling you this? Because one of the hardest things to do with the voice agent is to be able to make it feel responsive. Because human beings, when the minute they hear you, they could tell you what they're gonna. They know the answer to the question before you finish your question. Okay, the AI is not as good as that yet. So what happens is the AI has to listen to you first, transcribe your audio into um, text, send it to the LLM, then basically convert that back from the response back into speech to give it to you. And so if you have every single thing more than 600 milliseconds, human beings could detect it. So for a human being to not detect that it's a human being, like right now we're not having a conversation about whether it sounds like a robot or not. If you listen to that guy, like it's like you could this guy sounds like he's in a call center answering questions. Okay, so the latency is where the issue is at. That's why I'm building on Cloudflare. I built this entire phone system that I'm showing you guys here. I was built out on Cloudflare. Again, it's not working right this minute because I broke some stuff, but I built it out in Cloudflare because the key is you need the latency to be extremely short, and that latency can only be solved by distance. Okay, so the LLMs have to be as close as possible to you, and that's what Cloudflare is helping me to solve. But Vappy is really, really good. and I've run the math. So here's the numbers. I talked about this last week, but I'll talk about it again. If you have a LLM on VAPI doing voice to call, text to speech conversion, if you're doing that and you have the AI talking for 5 hours per day, 5 hours per day, 5 days a week, right? It translates to about 1600, 6500, 1600. Oh my goodness. Yeah, about 1600, 1600 and 500 hour. Oh my goodness. Can you say that right? It translates to 1600 minutes, okay, roughly. And if you basically want to translate that to dollar value, I've calculated it to be about 500 to $600 per month US. Okay. So that's not bad. However, if I use LiveKit, the same cost would drop down to about $250 to $300 max. So about 50% decrease in value. So VAPI solves a lot of the latency problem and stuff like that, but it's a little more expensive. LiveKit gives you more raw materials for you to build your own AI agent. And that's what I'm doing. I'm using LiveKit because I want to build it into this application. So what am I doing with it? I'll answer the question, even though you guys didn't ask. I have this vision, like Star Trek, everybody does, where you literally just talk to the applications like, hey, what are the leads that I need to focus on today? Who should I call? And it's like, hey, can you, okay, so John has this, and then it's like, okay, can you send John this email? And I want to be able to control this entire application 100% from voice. That's basically what I'm doing. I've never heard anyone say latency as short. I think I get what you mean. Hopefully, you mean you've never heard us say that latency is important, or is that what you mean? I think I understand what you're saying. Um, but the point is, latency is super super important. This is the most important thing. So you got to be under 300 milliseconds or roughly around 300 milliseconds. 600 milliseconds is tolerable, but any single thing above that, useless. Okay, so that's the thing that I've been experimenting with in order to think. So hopefully I answered this question. I kind of went around a rabbit hole. So the answer to the question here is LiveKit and think below 600 milliseconds. Yes, 100%. 100%. But yeah, we're getting pretty close, guys. We're really getting close. It's a latency problem now. It's not oh, this sounds like AI. So what am I doing with it? In my application here, I have a speed dial system that allows me to make speed dial. Let me go back to my application, like a little bit more real data so you can kind of see it. So what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to click, and this is about speed, okay? Because my mission is one salesperson should be able to manage 100,000 leads, no problem, okay? So here, I got a bunch of contact information. When I click on, see it loads a website here. So I could see, I'm a salesperson, just picture I'm a salesperson now, okay? I could see the website. I could see what they're about. I'll see the notes here. I could click on next. I could see the website, whatever. I could press the call button, talk to them. The minute I hang up, I just press next and I just move on. And I never have to do any notes or anything. I just call. Like, hey, can I talk to John? John, and it'll tell me exactly who the contact is, what I need to do, what I should be talking to them specifically on. If I had a conversation with them before, it'll tell me exactly what I should be talking to them now based on the previous conversation. And I'm not doing a single thing. All I'm doing is just pressing next, 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 and just talking to people. And eventually, the AI will obviously do that part. But I'm trying to do a collaboration between the human and the AI. Where the AI will come in right now is if I book an appointment with them, the AI will make a call to basically validate that they're going to show up for the call. So that part is acceptable. But the other part, I'm doing sort of like a collaboration between the two. Good afternoon. How do I access the group? Yes, okay, I answered that question already. Nice, total good. I've never heard anyone say latency. I answered that question below 600 milliseconds, right? Yep. Nice. Yeah. So the point is that speed is of essence, right? And just so you know how this is working, because this is sitting on Cloudflare. What's happening here is every time you press next, okay, I have a Cloudflare worker that goes out using Cloudflare browser in the background that goes out, makes an HTTP request, aka browse the website, browse the website, loads the website, takes a snapshot of the website, saves it to R2 database, and then basically pumps that image back in here. So this is an actual image of the website, right? So this allows me to go really, really fast, okay? Because it just allows me to just, every time I press next, it always loads the next 5 instantly. Okay, so you can see I can keep pressing next all day long. It just instantly loads every single website all the time. Okay, so this here is it's getting caught up now. So it's now capturing the screenshot and thing. And then that's it. So now if I press the back button and I go back there again, it's instant, right? So every 5, it'll just keep doing that every time, all the time. And this is a Cloudflare thing that's just running in the background all the time. So which text-to-speech do you use for your platform? Thank you. So like I said, I use the live kit, but the one that I'm using right now for those 2 voices that I mentioned, in case you weren't here, this one is OpenAI GPT 4.0, by the way, not the new fancy models. Don't use the new fancy models, by the way. They're not, like, it's overkill. Go back to the older models because they're significantly more efficient and faster. I'm using the 4.0 cluster in this particular case. And in terms of text to speech, sorry, that was the question that you had. For text to speech, I think this one was using assembly. Let me just double check. Transcriber. Oh, right. So it's using the provide DeepGram. So this guy, DeepGram. These guys are good. Very, very good, actually. So the voice AI. So this is what it uses in the background. But again, if you're using Vappy or you're using LiveKit, they kind of set this up in the background for you. And then the speech to text, I think it's ChatGPT. Let me just double check here. So transcriber, yeah, background, and then fallback transcribers. No, I don't have any fallback transcriber. Prescribed structure. Where is it? Yeah, I think it's actually just the OpenAI. Yeah, for this side, on this side here. So yeah, it's sorry, I had that the backwards one. This is the text to speech, and then this is the voice speech to text or text. Oh god, goodness, I got it reversed in my brain. Sorry. OpenAI is the one that's doing um the oh my goodness, why am I blanking out on this? One of the 2 of them. It's between OpenAI and DeepGram. I don't know why my brain is just like holding it mixed up in my brain. I can't get it right. Anyway, hopefully that answers your question, Mr. Total Spark. So does it save them to your base as generating them for you for sales agent? Yes, the website. Yes, 100%. That's what it does. Yeah. So once it does it once, it doesn't have to do it again. Okay. So just all day long. It'll save it up to 90 days just for the sake of thing. Then it'll just get rid of it just to cut space. So yeah, so I could just keep pressing next all the time. See, this one has no website on file, no website. This was before we think. Now I force the AI system, the lead scoring system, to always have a website. And just so you know how this system works, just to give you a quick crash course in it. See here, I have 73,000 leads in this platform right now. And what it does is automatically every single day, it just basically goes out and it basically combs the website, validate the phone number, make sure every single thing is valid, and then it goes and checks the website to see if the website has information relevant to the thing that I'm trying to sell. And then it scores it and it moves it up the ladder, and it just keeps doing that all day long, so that the salesperson doesn't have to waste time on research and all that kind of stuff. And then it allows you to be able to say, okay, so let's say you did more research on a whole bunch of customers. You could just come in here and say, okay, I want to email this guy, I want to email this guy, I want to email these people. And then I want to keep that. And then I basically just choose a template. So here I got a template here. And then I could just press send, and it'll just send it out to all those people instantly. Okay, it has a preview for what it looks like on mobile. So it's, oh my goodness, TikTok just keeps messing with me, man. If you guys could do me a favor and just keep tapping the screen on the heart so that you can like literally tell TikTok to like buzz off, that would be great. Okay, because they keep telling me that for some reason I'm a fraudulent account, so I have to keep appealing it every single time. So yeah, if you could do that for me, that'd be great. Plus, it'll boost my ego. This has been the most people that I've had in live for a while, so thank you guys for hanging out and thing. Does it have a lead database or LinkedIn or Polo? Yes. Good question, man. You must know something about lead generation. So it's a very good question. It has all of the above. So it's pulling from multiple different sources. The long and short answer is that we're not biased on where you want to pull the information from. So you could just do a literally import into the system. You could just go to Apollo and pull your leads and then push it into the system. If you have a CRM, we could pull directly from it. But then we're integrating a bunch of tools. My favorite right now that I'm using is Ocean.io, OCEAN, Ocean.io, because it's really, really good at like lookalikes. Very, very good at lookalikes. So in other words, if I have a company that score really high that I'm interested in, it will automatically find all the other companies that are very good at the same thing or is like that, and it'll pull it in. So I could pull it into my database. And then from there, I could do all my scoring and lead generation and figure out. So I could just basically, I don't have to think about who I should be calling, who I should be talking to. I just basically just, it's all scored, it's all thing in the background, it's all rated, and then basically I'm just like bam, bam, bam all day long, right? So one salesperson, 100,000 leads. That's the mission. Okay. So yeah, I'm completely rethinking what it means to have a CRM system because I think all the CRM systems are just garbage. This is my very, very strong statement about my opinion. It's obviously opinionated and isolated to me, but I've done HubSpot, I've done Fresh thing, I've done oh my goodness, so many Pipe Drive, I've done just so many systems. I've done Sugar CRM, open source, like you name it. I've been through all of them. I've done Salesforce, and they all suffer from one thing: way too much complexity, and they don't do enough for you, the human being. All there is a glorified spreadsheet with a whole bunch of tabs. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with it. Like I don't care about any of your tools. I've done Just Call. This is what got me onto the call-in system because we used to use this STCALL. And I'm like, I got in here, I started using it. I had 3 salespeople that was using it, and every single day, you know what I was doing? I was manually pulling leads from my system into their system so that these people could call, and then I had to manually export the results. I was like, what is this? And then now they've gotten a little bit better and stuff like that. But I'm like, this is like a joke. And then the thing that really got me over the edge, the one feature that they had was voicemail drop, which was this ability to call a lead and just have a preset voicemail dropped in the inbox automatically. And I was like, wait, that's actually a cool feature. How the hell do they do it? You know what they do? Let me tell you guys a secret so you guys know what to do. This is what they do, okay? The system makes the call to the user, okay? It makes the call and then it immediately hangs up, okay, in milliseconds, and then it makes another call again. And when it does that, the phone is still getting the actual call. Like the phone itself is still. So think of it this way: let's say you trigger a call, it's going, 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 and it's get to the call, but the minute it gets to the call, the phone hasn't even processed the call as yet. So it just basically, and then you hang up the call, you cut the connection. So the system is still trying to figure out what's going on. And then what they do is they trigger another call directly after that in the back end. And then they basically the phone is like, hey, I'm still working on another connection right now. So you're gonna have to hold on. So you know what? I'm just gonna send you the voicemail. That's basically what happens. And that's what they do, the voicemail drop feature. And so you get the voicemail and then you have a pre-recorded message that you just drop onto them. But the pre-recorded message is like, hey, just want to let you know that a blah 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 kind of thing, and it's generic. And I was like, you could have pre-recorded message today with every single person name called. Like, hey Dwayne, how are you doing? Whatever. Hey, Total Spark, how are you doing? Like I could say, like every single person I could do a voicemail. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just build it. So that's how we got there. So just a little backstory for you. But yeah, the voicemail drop is pretty. So I can now send a personalized voicemail drop to every single person. All right. Customized to the conversation that I had with them previously, just to be clear, because I have all the history, I have all the notes, I have every single thing. So my voicemail is significantly more advanced than what those guys are doing. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to eat your lunch. And I don't even care if I sell this tool to the global masses. I just know that I would want a better tool for me because my business is, yeah, Snapsuite. Nice. When you sell shares or need to raise funds, let me know. How much money do you have? That's funny. Yeah, so the truth is, um, just to give you a little context about the shares and the backstory thing, I appreciate you saying that, just even if you're joking around about it. So we tried to raise money for my original startup. Okay, just so you know, this is my original startup, my startup. And the reason why I built the other company is because I couldn't figure out how to sell clients here, and I struggled with selling. So I was like, I need a tool to help me sell this product, and that's kind of what I did. But the problem, well, I know I was telling you about the investor thing. So to date, actually, I don't know if I could disclose that, but yeah, maybe I can. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We raised just a little bit under $500,000 for this tool. Okay, like we never got to, like, millions of dollars or any single thing, but we did raise some money from investors and stuff like that. And the problem is that it just never took off because we never really cracked the nut on sales. So as I mentioned to you, so this tool is kind of, I don't know if it's an antidote, but it's just a thing that I'm setting up to solve this problem. Um, but I actually never really tried to raise money for this tool. I'm like, I'm just gonna build the best sales tool proper, and then go from there. But are we opposed to taking investor money? I don't know if we are. Maybe we could have a conversation. Let me know if you're actually serious, right? But like we wouldn't. I don't think we would take any single thing less than like $500,000 or something. Like, just to be clear, right? So yeah, just putting that out there. But if you know some rich friends, they want to like legit like invest in a proper tool, yeah, like, come talk to me. Maybe I might actually try to do an investor funding. I don't know. Never. It's not a thing that I'm focused on right now. Okay, I digress. We're talking about all kinds of craziness. Who has questions about vibe coding? So does it save to your database? Yes, I think I answered this question already. Yes. Does it have lead database? Or yes, I did answer that question. Very good. Nice. When you want, yeah, got that. Okay, we're all caught up on the questions. Look at that. So yeah, let's see if it's, let's do one more. Okay, we're almost pushing up on the end of time here, but we'll do one more question. Let's see. Speech to text. Why being MIA? Okay, we'll skip over me. Mm. Oh, by the way, this guy here has a Advantage AI. Um, it's like me. It's work in progress. Um, yes, I most certainly will. So this guy has the Marketing Advantage app. So I've had a couple conversations with him. Really nice guy. Very cool. Building a pretty interesting tool. So I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna let you guys know what it is. But this is the cool thing, right? Like, you get to be in a community where people are building stuff. They're looking for advice. They're looking for help. They're looking for things, and you could just think. So like, come in here and check out your thing. So what do you want to know? Marketing thing. So why don't we say, hey, I'm building a lead generation, lead scoring application. How do you think I should market it properly? All right. So here we're gonna give him a test live on things. So who buys and who decides who's your typical customer. So we're looking for customers that are sub 10 million in revenue, between, let's say, 3 to 5 million, like 5 to 10 million in revenue. Probably more in the non-technical space, so like maybe manufacturing or that kind of stuff. Any single thing that needs help with like doing sales outreach. Have a slightly small sales team, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 people at max. That's looking to automate and do a lot more outreach, but don't have the resources to scale up their sales team. So look at that. Again, this is a guy that's in my skills community that built this here. Got it. So you're targeting small and mid-sized businesses, particularly non-technical, manufacturing revenue, 3 to 4 to 10 million. Yeah, sure. 3 people, and they need to automate or increase outreach. Staff, what's the problem? What problems keep your customers awake at night? I just mentioned that. Increase the staff. Um, they are looking for new avenues um, they're looking for new markets based on all the tariff and all the craziness that's going on. Okay. I'm just testing this guy tool, right? This is a guy that literally built the tool. Feel free to try it out this way. Let's see. So, okay, so their sleepless nights are caused by the instability in the current market due to tariff and yeah, okay. Your lead scoring app helps them identify those new opportunities efficiently. Does your customer do you serve customers locally or online or everywhere? Everywhere. But it's not a mom and pop. It's a SaaS tool, right? So let's see. Understood. So your SaaS too many questions. Too many questions. Understood. So your SaaS tool is for business worldwide, not limited to geography. Yeah, just said that, man. Do you have a website or a lead generation thing? Okay, cool. So let's do that. So get leads at AI. Yeah, let's do that. And put it back in. Damn, which tab was I on? Jeez. Too many tabs. Okay, there we go. Okay, monthly 500 BC, monthly budget under uh for what? For marketing? Let's go with A. A. Okay, so where are we going with this? I'm already getting I feel like I have too many I'm answering too many questions here. Um let me see. So pick your challenge. Need more leads. Leads don't convert. Need more leads. Come on. So what's my first impression so far? I'm doing an analysis on this guy's vibe coded tool, by the way. So just in case you guys know, in case you guys are wondering what I'm doing here, it's my assessment of his vibe coding tool. So let's see. Okay, so okay, so we got a bug here where it keeps scrolling back up all the time. But let's see what it says. So give me 30 seconds to build a market. And here's what I see. Okay, so your business is blah, blah, blah. Your customer is ideal. Your pain point is online everywhere. Your stage, first 110 for customers. So 10 to 100 customers most likely pass the immediate networking. Your challenge, blah, blah, blah. Your budget under 500 means we'll focus heavily on targeting manual and low cost automated strategies. Yeah, okay, so that's feel. Yeah, your website Get Lead Score does an excellent job of communication and position and blah blah blah. You've built a valuable tool. Yes, okay, great. Top 3 priorities. Here's your suggestions. So cold outreach workflow. Okay, yeah. With your budget and directing, cold outreach messaging. Okay, cool. That's cool. Yeah, that's right. That's what I would do. Amplify. Yeah, oh, script. Okay, that's good. Hunter.io. That's fantastic. I would definitely do that. Neverbunks. We're already using that right now. Limbless. We have this already. So, well, Limbless. We are the Limbless, but sure. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yep. Great. Automate follow-ups 3 to 4 things analyzing. Hi, given your market fit in industries thing we help developers lead score and give leads for identify prospect thing. Would you be open to 10 to 15 minutes? Not bad. Given your current market shifts, businesses like yours, current market position manufacturing thing, businesses like yours are actively exploring new opportunities. We've developed leads. Hey, this is not bad. Priority comparison alternative, identify competitors, key research, draft comparison page, competitor versus X. Yeah, okay, cool. Hey, I like this. This is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. There's enough to do here next 2 hours. What report to do for you. So start your free 3-day activation plan. So what is my plan? Okay, so what am I getting? So that's not clear here. So need an AI tool to execute your plan. Create videos, marketing, and image. Okay, so try your browsers. Ready to implement the plan? Get trial for free. Too many actions after the end. Right? So it's actually pretty proud. So this is good, but then it's like one more thing. I haven't even made the first step as yet. So what should really happen here is that this should be my first action plan, which is like a low barrier of entry. And then only after I commit to that and you get access to my email address and other things, then you basically try to upsell me on something else. So right now what they're doing is he's giving me like multiple different offers and action plan. It's like it's too overwhelming because I actually don't know what I want as yet, right? and I don't even know if I trust you as yet. So give me a daily marketing plan. So you're not stuck, you get clarity. Okay, so let's just see. So this, got it. Okay, so he's giving me sort of a marketing plan. So what do I do now? Give me the daily marketing plan. So when do I pay? Creating marketing plan. See, this is a lot of So where what would I say with this tool here? There's a couple. There's first of all, it's very good at what it does, which is just giving you an outline of what you should be focusing on, at least to get your initial marketing initiative out the door. So anybody that is trying to do vibe coding and have no idea, try this guy's tool. It's actually pretty good. He's in the community. His name is Joseph Seagull, and one of my students. I'm going to call it that. He's not really a student because I don't, I just he's just kind of semi learning from me in some way. But one of my students, for the sake of this, um, and it does pretty good job, at least from what I see, of at least giving you some guidance. It's a little overwhelming for the start. 9 a.m. Go to Google Sheets, create a blank template. 9:10, create the names of blah 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 blah. Start building things. Okay, so I could do all of this here. So mark as complete. Okay, so let's see. I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, that's great. So okay, I get you. So every single day it gives you sort of like this is cool. This is cool. So like a 7-day roadmap of what exactly you should be doing to think. So you know what? I'm going to run this through its paces. I'm going to try it a little bit more. And what I'll do is I'm going to try it with my app, Affordly, which is a um, consumer app, B2C. I'll try it with a B2B and I'll try it with a B2B app. But so far, I'll say that it's good. Things that I don't like overall, it definitely feels AI generated because it's kind of like there's a lot of colors, which is not a bad thing because I'm actually for colors, but it definitely feels AI created. But overall, like this flow here, this day one, day two, day three kind of deal. The only problem that I have so far, it doesn't actually tell me what is. So here, see here, go to Gemini, log in, Google account, enter the entire Gemini, enter into search, Gmail, give suggestions, and then um see, so it's giving me this action plan. I can mark it as complete, but I don't actually give it any new information to tell it like what is the outcome of the action that I did. And I think that's important because if you're going to use AI to give me the next steps, me every single day that I give you the outcome, you should be able to use that to then help me to create like the new plan for the next day, right? The plan shouldn't be just preset; it should be dynamic based on the feedback from the previous day, if that makes sense. So anyway, yeah, this is actually a pretty good tool. The concepts are there. It has sort of the idea. This is way too busy, too many this here, and like I said, it feels too AI generated. It's on the right path though. It has roughly the right feel, but too many. You see here, call to action, call to action, call to action, call to action. It's like, well, which one should I be clicking on? Call to action, call to action, call to action, call to action, right? So I don't know which button I should be focusing on because all the buttons have the same weight. So this is one of the problems with like newbie when they're doing AI tools, right? Like they don't know how to sort of like distill the page to make it more simple to just kind of carry the user through one very specific path. So let's see if there's any other questions here. This is very good. Tool Spark, nice. You share, yeah. I use GenSpark like an AI assistant tool. Is there any other tool you would recommend? So GenSpark, I don't know. GenSpark. What do you use GenSpark for? All in one workspace. So slide maintain. What is it? So slide presentation plans. AI slides. Okay. AI presentation marker, membership plans, um, slides document. So the one that I use that are kind of sitting in this space right now is Gamma, GAMMA. Speaking of which, I haven't used it in a while. Gamma.app. But this is really just to do presentation. And if I'm being real, so here, this was my last presentation that I did with them. Um, So see here, it allows me to do like sort of presentations on the fly. So it allows me to kind of do presentations sort of on the fly kind of deal. So it's pretty cool. But the app that you're sort of this showing me has significantly more capabilities like Google Docs and all that kind of stuff. So I'd keep using that. I don't know if I have any recommendations better than what you're suggesting there. Um, to be honest with you, I try to keep away from so many of these tools because I just find there's just a lot of stuff going on. And I need to just focus on one or two things. So I'm not probably the best expert to tell you about this. Um, but yeah, it looks cool. It looks cool. So yeah, okay. What else we got? Um, Today is live Q&A day. So if you want your questions answered, feel free. Vibe code and Q&A. What else we got inside of here? Oh, we did the better art and Cloudflare 101. Okay, so this guy posted a new bit. Hey, go read Gabrielle's blog. Okay. Art at the Edge, better art plus Cloudflare workers. He's doing a fantastic job. This guy is doing what I should be doing. But that's the whole point. Who is this? Uh, yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that. Sorry, getting a call here that I don't know who this person is. Um, yeah, so he's doing. Yeah, this guy's doing fantastic work. Yeah, this is really good. See, I don't want to do this kind of tutorials because this is not my audience. Like my audience, aka people that are new to vibe coding, they don't. This is not. It's not good for them, right? Like what I want to do is I want to do tutorials that give you high level concepts and then you could drill into the details. Do you make AI agents with just Claude, Mister Christine is trying? Um, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. It's not that I don't. It's just that I don't spend enough time with it. So I haven't been focusing on. Let me see. No, you can make AI agents using anything. Yeah. That's right. 100%. You can make AI agents with any one of the vibe coding, but no, do you use N8 as well too? With any model basically. Yeah. So the real question is what you're trying to accomplish, Christine. So um, right now, I'll just tell you my sort of thought process where I'm at right now. I'm not using any agents in any kind of serious manner. The agents that I'm trying to bring online are all focused around sales, going out to Reddit, messaging people, going out to Facebook, messaging people, going out to Instagram, messaging people, messaging all of the people that interacted with me on TikTok here, and try to connect with them and try to get them to join the school community, like that kind of stuff. Like that's what I'm kind of using Agent for, and for that I'm experimenting with OpenClaw, which obviously uses thing, but there's some new guidelines around like Claw is getting anyway they're getting weird about their using OpenClaw for all this type of stuff. So that's the reason why I'm using agents. But more importantly, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build agents into this application. So there's a whole thing that I didn't really talk about today, which is here agents, and I'm trying to build agents, computer use agent into this application here. And the reason for that is so that it can go out on LinkedIn on your behalf and message people and all that type of stuff. So but no, I wouldn't say I'm the expert on agents part of this conversation outside of like coding, vibe coding, very specific features and thing. So no, you can make an AI agent. Yeah. What else we got here? So no, use N8. N8 is a fantastic tool. It's really good. I've used Make more than I've used N8, Make.com. So this is a tool that I use. The thing is though, is that I kind of move away from all these tools because the truth is they limit me personally on what I want to do. If you're just starting out, these tools are fantastic. They're great and they solve real problems. And if you just want to get a quick sort of like implementation, fantastic tool. That being said though, I'm sitting on the developer level, so I find these tools kind of restrictive in what I can and can't do. And for me right now, Cloudflare workers and agents has allowed me to spin up a lot of stuff really, really fast. These tools, what I would use it for is to help me with integration because they're very good at that, very fast, right? Or build out the proof of concept. But the minute I get that proof of concept right, I'm shifting back to code because it's just not going to scale in the way that I want to without costing me an arm and a leg. It'll scale, but it'll, at what cost? So, but yeah, N8 is good. It's a very, very good tool. So sorry, so make that comment is what I use, but N8 is very good. The one thing I'm using N8 for, N8 is N8 automation, N8 automation, N8. It's N8. Yeah. The one thing I'm using it for is that it actually has a pretty good. It allows you to set up sorry, not N8. I'm thinking about something else. I'm thinking about the other tool. Sorry, I'm thinking about N8 is pretty good. I know N8 and I've used it in the past, but it's not a thing that I go to right now. But if you're just starting out doing this kind of stuff, it's really good. Personally, I'm starting to shift over to using like ChatGPT agents, the one that they just brought out, because they're competing now with N8, and I have a feeling that they're going to create a marketplace and all that kind of stuff, because what they're trying to do is come up with certifications for people with AI. So you're going to start seeing more people gravitate towards that. I guarantee you that. And as good as a tool N8N is, it's going to kind of suffer a bit, I think. I personally think. I mean, don't get me wrong, they won't run out of business or anything, but yeah. What was I gonna tell you guys? Oh, there's another tool that I'm thinking about, and I'm losing my brain on it now. Oh, jeez. So N8N is using a tool in the background. I'm trying to remember what it is. Oh, jeez. Where is it? AI expert join the brand releases. Oh, I'm losing my mind because so N8N I found out is sitting on a platform. There's basically the company that invested in N8N. Oh, jeez. See, N8N is a product of these guys. Trying to remember how this works because there's a N8N is part of a company. I gotta, no, you know what? I'm totally blanking out on this here. But they're part of a bigger company that does a whole bunch of stuff around some very sophisticated tools. And N8N will allow you to like host the tool directly on your own server. And I found out there's a few other tools that they have that are very, very good for like integration. Now it's just baffling me. Jeez, popular integration. Okay, here. Okay, I think I know how to find it. Let me see if I could find it. Let me see. So if I do, no, is it GitHub maybe? Let me just think about this for a second. So if I do GitHub, self-hosted. Yeah, so if I do GitHub self-hosted, so SaaS, and analytics. Man, I can't find it. It's totally bad. Like it's beating my brain now. Hang on. npx docker localhost fair code. Yes, N8N is free code distributed. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is the hidden truth. Here. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this tool, this fair code, this is what I'm looking for. So here, there's a really good software here that's completely underrated. Okay, so if you go here, and then you go to, so this is the license, fair code companies. Okay, these are the fair code companies, and there's one called, where is it? Nango. Is it this one? Nango. Yes, Nango. Okay, product built on integration with AI. Yes, so this tool here, let me just see if it's the right one. Let me just make sure this is the right one. Website. Yeah, product integration built with AI. So this tool here will allow you to integrate with any platform across any different medium. Okay, so you could build your SaaS tool and pay $50 a month, and you could basically connect up to 20 connectors, 200,000 requests, 20 hours. This allows your platform to be able to build out with thing. do integrations really, really well. This is my next big lift in my application because integration is a huge thing. What I'm going to do is a hybrid approach. I'm going to have my custom integration because AI could do that pretty fast. And then I'm going to have Nango deal with all the other 700 integrations that I don't care to build out for because it's just it's just a rinse and repeat of the same thing. And if you need more, you just want to, the people are just going to pay for it. All right. So anyway,
here is your reminder.
computer,
Start work.
computer, stop. So, what is it called? It's called Nango. I'll drop it in the chat. This is an underrated tool that nobody really knows about, but it just solves all of your problems and headaches around integration, period. Okay. And they even have an open source version because it is open source that you could do your own hosting with. It's a very, very good tool. Okay. It's like it's just rock solid. Let me drop it inside of the Google chat as well, YouTube chat as well too, and then this is the GitHub video. So yeah, like anybody that's doing any integration, this is the place to go. And I've tested it. I've done the self-hosted version already. See here, they have 700 plus APIs on anything that you could integrate with. Okay. So this is like a gem. In fact, I need to put this as a resource in the school community because it's so good. And yeah, nobody's talking about it. But my point was that N8N, this is how I found this out because I was doing some digging and I found out that N8N is part of this Fair Code platform. And they're see here, Fair Code is not about software license. It describes a software model where software is generally free to use and can be distributed by anybody, right? It has source code and openly available and can be extended by anybody in the public or private communities and commercially restricted by its author. So basically, as a private person, you can basically do 90% of it, and then only on the commercial level, there's some restrictions. And by that time, you're either making enough money that you could pay for it or whatever, right? Like that's kind of the thought process. And I like this model very, very much. In fact, I'm considering doing this with my software. I haven't, the open source world is a whole lot of world that I don't really want to think about, but I'm like, you know what? The tool that I'm building, I don't have a problem opening its sources for like individuals, and then commercially, you got to pay for it kind of deal. But yeah. So, and that's what N8N has done. They've done that, but then you got to deal with support and all that kind of stuff. I just don't have the brain power for it. So that's the reason why I'm not necessarily going that route. But I might, because I like the idea of just kind of like just giving value, and then yeah. So anyway, guys, hey, hopefully I've given you guys some value today. Being on this live talking for 3 hours, not an easy thing to do. Okay, anybody that tells you that this is easy, I'm like, yeah, no. It actually requires you being like alert and like going to bed early. Hint, hint for me next time. Share the link to this blog. Lots of value. Share the links to his blogs. Lots of value. To my school, you probably mean. I think that's what you're probably saying. Or whose blog? Share the link to his blog. Lots of value. Yeah, I think you're talking about me, hopefully. Anyway, listen, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate all you guys that have been hanging around here. We got 6 people inside of here. We got 4 in YouTube. That's 10. We had at a peak, we had like 20 people in here. That's the most people I've ever had on any single thing, period. Listening and chatting with me live. Look at that. We got 13,000 hearts. So for all the people that heart me, heart yourself by tapping on the screen. I appreciate you very, very much. This has been a blast. I got to pick up my kid in about half an hour or so. So yeah, so I'm gonna kind of bail on you guys. But listen, let me read the last guy. So for Nango, is it a one connection that solves multiple API integration? 100%. That's what it is. You connect to Nango, they connect to everybody else, and they give you login and integration and all that kind of stuff. So it deals with the multi-tenancy and all that kind of stuff. All right, solves all your problems on the front end, and so it's worth it that if you have a proper software, you just pay the $50 a month, right? You just do that, And you know what? No, no, in talking to you guys, I remember this tool because I kind of forgotten about it. But I'll tell you how I know about it is because one of my friends was having problems integrating with Gmail in their application, and they were really having a bunch of problems. And so I was like, no, that can't be a problem. And anyway, what I did is I went in there and in literally like an hour, I solved it with Nango. It was like straightforward. Now, obviously, there was more work to be done, but I solved the problem, and he was just blown away because they were like solve it. They were trying to like figure this out for like months, and then they had to go through all this licensing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, highly recommend that software tool. But you know what? All these tools I'm going to drop in the school community. This is the last thing I'll leave you guys with. I'm going to drop it in the school community. I'm going to create a new section called resources, and I'm just going to tell you every tool that I know, what it does, why I do it, and why I use it. So you guys don't have to think or even like figure any of that stuff out. Like it's just I've solved the problem already. And by all means, if you have a better tool, bring it and put it. Leave a comment or whatever inside of there, so we could all learn from each other. That's what this community is about. So with that, thank you guys for your time. Only people that pay multiple platforms for integration would understand. That's a really good point to leave this conversation with. Yes, only people that have been through the pain understands the value of like somebody else having the pain solved and then basically giving you sort of like the polished clean version that they don't have to go through the mess. So you're 100% right. That's why we have this community as well too, because you know what, I've been through 20 years of pain, like legit hardship pain. If I tell you all the stories, you guys would just start crying for me. Okay, so with that, I'm hell bent on just giving people as much value as you possibly can so you can build your startup without having to go through that pain. That's what we're about here. So with that, I will see you guys next week, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, let's just hang out and stuff like that. Not contemplating. I will do it. I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff done right now. So I'm in builder's mood right now. But eventually I'm gonna end up doing like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or even like every day type of live thing. But I haven't figured it out as yet. So until that time, 1 p.m. to Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern time on a Friday afternoon. That's where I'm at. Here's what I'm doing. Right. I find I talk too much, so I can't talk and code at the same time. That's the problem. I'm still learning how to do that. So, hey, appreciate you guys. Have yourself a wonderful day. I will see you guys next week. Enjoy the weekend and keep building and join the community if you haven't. And we'll talk again. Okay, bye bye.